Hey guys, it's Tom. It's about 9 o'clock on the East Coast on Thursday night, and I just broadcast the outstanding Minnesota Vikings, Houston Texans SOMIFA semifinal game, and that video is up on the forums. You can watch/listen to that, and you're going to want to. It was a great game, and we have our first SOMIFA Super Bowl participant. I will not spoil that here in case you want to listen or watch that, or you're listening to this live, which some of you do via YouTube or other media. I'm doing an SSFA season preview show like I usually do. SOMIFA and SSFA are the two leagues where my bread is butter. That's why I have the greatest interest, and I try to do all my extracurricular stuff with those leagues. I just gave up my SAMHSA team a couple of days ago. Quite frankly, I feel very relieved about it. I've never regretted giving up a strat team. I've never given up a strat team. I've never looked back years later and be like, oh man, I shouldn't have given up that team. I just felt like there was too much strat on my plate, and that period from like mid-December through like the third week of January is just a real killer for me, and I just didn't have the time to give the SAMHSA team the time that it needed. I like to run each of my teams the same way, and if I can't run a team that way, I'd rather not have the team. That's the way I am. Because I enjoy giving each team the full treatment, so to speak. Yeah. So and the guys, I can understand all the baseball guys didn't want to push SAMHSA back further. I think I was a minority of one looking to that move. So I guess it was just best for me to give up the team. So you probably won't be seeing me doing too much for SAMHSA, that's for sure. But so for SSFA all the way. You get everything with those leagues. You get my mock drafts, my playoff broadcasts, season previews, all kinds of nonsense. I'll probably do a super early SOMIFA mock draft sometime the next month or so. I like doing those, as you know. They're very lengthy, and I have a lot of fun with them. And I'll do them real early. I don't care. I did at least one in January one year. So this year maybe I got to wait till late February or March. But speaking of doing things going lengthy, I think my SSFA draft recap show was 4 hours and 13 minutes. I'm going to try to do the season preview show in 2 hours tonight. 5 minutes a team. Partly because I have things that I need to do, and I want to get this out of the way. My wife is in college. She returned to college. She's taking an English class. Now, I happen to have a Master of Fine Arts degree in creative writing and a bachelor's in English. So I've suddenly enlisted in homework assistance. Like I really care what William H. Ouden has to say. I gotta read his poems. So I need to set aside time for that. I just got an email an hour ago. Oh, my first paper is due. Yeah, your first paper is due. I finished with school like 13 years ago. Why am I being harassed? Sad state of affairs. This could be Marvin Jones payback from the fantasy football season for those of you who remember that situation. But we're going to try and do this in a tight 2 hours. I'm already behind schedule. No surprise. I was going to go through each team before I did the show and do a quick team-by-team analysis, looking at offense, defense, special teams, if necessary. And through having done that, I have a much faster show. I only did that for about 5 teams. Then tonight I was like, I think I did that yesterday. Tonight I was like, let me start the show. I already got Joel Golden messaging me looking to play a game. And I haven't done my spreadsheets yet, which should be very easy to do. But I want to at least get those going. And I would rather get a season preview show first before I play any games. Season preview first, show first. Get a couple of spreadsheets going, and then I'll play. I'm looking forward to playing with this team. I do feel relieved that I've got some extra time on my plate now without the extra 16 games of SAMHSA at the same time. So, all right. So we're going to start with and Dennis is not available right now. Probably may pop on at some point. Unlikely. This is dinner time for the Crowley household. But I wanted to get the show out there. Get the show on the road, as they say. What the hell am I looking at? I'm trying to find the coaching roster. So I'm watching the clock. Can I do 4 or 5 minutes a team? Sounds unlikely. We'll see. Kurt Retzlaff is the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals last year were 4-12 in SSFA, but I believe they won. I believe Kurt won the SSFA championship. This team looks like they're in a rebuilding stage. I know you see this would be a lot faster if I had done the preview for all the teams. I only got through the first 5, however. But this team looks like they're in a bit of a rebuilding phase. I mean, they got RG3 and Brock Osweiler, quarterback. Kind of forces you to rebuild. Kind of forces you to rebuild it, whether you want to or not. Got Isaiah Crowell and Peyton Barber in the backfield. Crowell's got a decent card. Cameron Meredith, Brandon Fell, not bad at wide receiver, but not top shelf. The tight ends and blocking backs aren't that great for receiving. They got some great pass blocking, 3 7s of the line and a 5. Pretty decent run blocking, but overall, I think this offense is going to struggle quite a bit. They're not completely horrible, but they're decidedly below average, I think is fair to say. Team plays a 3-4 defense. And I think in the past, a lot of times I've mingled like all the overall roster and the rookies and the moves with the team for the season. And maybe one way to keep the show down to a more manageable length is to I don't mind going on 4 or 5 hours actually. And guys can always just fast forward to their own team, which probably a lot of you do anyway. But just what happens that tonight and tomorrow I'm trying to stay a bit of a schedule. That's why I'm trying to self-impose 2 hours. If you bet against me, it's probably a good bet. In terms of the 2-hour thing. I'm going to spend 25 minutes on my team anyway, I'll tell you that much. At the 4-28, if I'm going to have a decent team and they're young, forget about it. I can do 4 hours on my team. The SSFA season preview show, except for the Jets. I'll do a special just Jets show. The ratings might be low. Might be low for that one. 3-4 defense goes 4-4-4 on the defensive line with no pass rush. 4-5-5-6 at linebacker. Looks good, particularly against the run. 4 is at corner, 5 at safeties. So it's good. The defense is going to have a hard time, I think, because people can run the ball against them. He's going to bring a linebacker up, so that's good. But the corners are kind of weak, and there's no pass rush. So you could do it. It's sort of like the defense and the offense are both just not good enough, below average. The team will struggle. Kurt's a very good coach. But I think I'm going to go 5-11 or 6-10. I'll go 6-10 for the Cardinals. I'm probably only going to look for the special teams on teams that I think like it might make a difference. Like I'm not sure how I feel about the team, and I'm looking for more information. The Atlanta Falcons, that I think is Jason Collard. No, that's Mick. Jason must be Atlanta in Psalms or something like that. He's Buffalo in this league, Jason. Okay. So Mick Bouchan is one of the acceptable pronunciations Mick has told me. The Atlanta Falcons, now this team was 9-7 last year, made the playoffs, lost to Dennis 32-16. Dennis went on to the Super Bowl where he lost to Ed claiming another championship. And this is the team where Mick wanted to blow it up, wanted to rebuild, wanted to get rid of the old and in with the new. But had the Drew Brees trade overturned, it was felt by the TRC that he did not get enough back. I think it was a close vote. It might have been 3-2. I don't recall. I'm sure Mick recalls. I'll tell you that much. He was not happy about that, but he accepts it, but he was not happy about it. And this is a weird team because Mick is clearly not going for the season, right? And you look at what they've got. You got Drew Brees, great card, but then what else you got? You got Matt Forte and Christine Michael at running back. You got a bad offensive line, all 0s and 4s run blocking. I hope I am sharing my screen properly. Everything looks right. Broadcast is good. No video. The mic is good. Everything seems okay. All right. Okay, he's got Drew Brees, but he's got bad run blocking, bad pass blocking, got bad blocking. Whatever kind of blocking you're going to do is bad on this team. Got Adam Thielen and Golden Tate, pretty good receivers. Tight end blocking back situation, not that great. So the offense is not good, and it's not going to be good. But Drew Brees is real good, so they can be dangerous at times. They'll have their games where they do okay, and it wouldn't be inconceivable for them to average 20 points a game or something like that just because of Brees. We'll see. Maybe teams will have to press him with the pass rush. The defense is a 3-4, which I know from my quick notes over here, which goes 4-0-4 on the defensive line, 4-6-6-5 at linebacker, but none of these guys are good against the run. 4-0-4-4 against the run. So you get a zero nose tackle with linebackers who are bad against the run. Given they can come up and this left inside can slide out. Got a safety 6 and the rest of the secondary 4s with extra defensive backs 0 and no pass rush. So interesting defense. You can do some things with this defense. You can kind of play around with it a little bit. You can bring an inside linebacker up easily, even though he's a 0, at least he's in the zone. You can slide the 6 out to help the 4. You got Sherman covering one receivers. You can double team the other receiver more aggressively. You can drop an inside linebacker back. So you can mix and match and have some games where the team is okay. They have the potential to overachieve. Mick's a good coach. Well, they have the potential to not do very well. And I think this team will probably be 6 or 7 wins. I know Mick's heart isn't in it, so to speak. I mean, not that he's tanking, of course, but, he knows this team is neither fish nor fowl. He knows his team's not ready to compete right now. So, not that you give up, but it gets late in the season, you're 5-7 or whatever, or, you're 4-8 or whatever, or 4-7, and you're going to click a little faster. You're going to, that's human nature. It's, the game is not as important to you as it is if you're trying to make the playoffs, right? And you might end up losing a game or two that way. I'll give this team 7-9 seems generous. Well, I'll give them 7-9. I'll give them 7-9 anyway. The special teams are fairly neutral. So I should now. I keep track of this on my own too. Whose idea was this? Hold on a second. Stop Microsoft Word. Arizona, 6-10. New line, Atlanta, 7-9. New line. Go to sleep. So now everyone knows how I do my voice stuff. I want to keep track of it so that Dennis can easily put his alongside of it. I should probably do an Excel, but I already have my Excel windows open that I want. Baltimore, this is Jeff Bevier. And this is the team, maybe it depends on what mood I'm in. I know like about a year and a half ago, I said, I'm going to try and be a little kinder and gentler and not as harsh as I was being such a blowhard the first year or so I was doing these shows. I'm in a good mood tonight. But, so we'll see. That never lasts. I always end up saying something provocative, shall we say? Not in a bad, not, you know what I mean? Incendiary, perhaps. That seems strong. Anyway, so this is Jeff Bevier's team. This is the team that traded a bunch to move up in the draft last year to get Mariota. But then he's also traded like some second-round picks in recent years for veterans. And by veterans, I mean 29, 30-year-old guys like Jonathan Stewart, Haloti Ngata, who are Oregon Ducks in the NFL. Oregon Ducks in college. Jeff's a big Oregon Ducks fan. But I think he really hurt his team there because those guys are not that good now. Mariota's still young, and Mariota had a bad NFL season this past year. I wouldn't worry too much about that. But you want to put young players around your young quarterback. Unless he has a great card like Dak Prescott, and you think you're a legitimate championship contender like Nathan is in AW. But that wasn't the case with this team. And then sure enough, they went 5-11 last year. That second round pick would have been number, 30th pick in the draft, something like that. So, but c'est la vie. And I don't think this team is ready to compete again. And Mariota had a bad year in the NFL this year, so they might be a couple of years away from starting to get back into more competitive football. Mariota has got a pretty good card. Throws a little bit of picks, I believe. Not too bad with the picks. I think I have him top 15. I don't recall. I think Dennis just picked him up in Battle Royale. So he's not a bad card. But, Jonathan Stewart's not that great. The run blocking here, he's got a good center. 6. The rest of it is 4s and 0s. Receivers, Doug Baldwin's good. The other guy's not that great. 1-7 pass, only 1-7 pass block and 1-5. And you got offensive tackles 2 and 3. That's a problem. So I think this offense is going to struggle mightily, shall we say. Defense runs a 3-4. Marcel Darius, I think, is a true nose tackle this year. Yep. Next year will be backup defensive tackle probably from Jacksonville, but that might only be a backup for 1 year. I don't know what the snap count was and how much he started over there, but 4-5-4 defensive line goes 5-6-5-0 at linebacker, and then 4-0-4-4 in the secondary. So interesting. He's got a little pass rush here with the defensive ends and the outside linebackers. The secondary is porous. You can do some things here. He's got the blitz all out, but he was trying that, I think, on Samifa, and it's a difficult. If you're not used to it, and maybe if it just doesn't suit your coaching style, it can be hard to figure out how to manage the defense the way that Nathan and Dan Morin have done with some teams a few years ago. They had defenses that were like laden with 4s, but they had real good pass rush, and they were very aggressive with the blitzing and the safety blitzing, and they made it work. A lot of us, I don't think are good at that. I don't think I'd be good at that, but they make it work. And that'll be Jeff's challenge. With this defense, at least he has good linebacker pass ratings and a nose tackle 5. But this offense looks so ugh. And then the secondary. So I don't like this team either. It always seems like the first half of the alphabet. All the good coaches have not the good coaches, all the better teams or more successful franchises in these leagues. For some reason, they seem to come at the end. Maybe because it's always Dennis's Seattle, and Paul Dennis is Seattle, and Paul is off in San Diego, and Ed is San Francisco, and those 3 guys are all real good. They're near the end. Usually, there's a good Pittsburgh entry like Ron Martin or someone like that. So I think I'll go 6-10 for the Ravens. And with Mariota's down year, it's going to be a couple years for this team to get where it needs to go. Not to beat a dead horse, which I do all the time. I really wish he had invested in young players instead of trying to, I don't know, catch lightning in a bottle with Stewart and Nagoda around Mariota. I think he would like to have those second-round picks back right now. But, hey, we all play the game a different way. And he thought he could win then, so that's what he did. And we've seen guys do that. We've seen guys trade stuff for the year and do real well. We've seen guys trade stuff for the year and have it not work out. So, same thing with rebuilding. There's no magic formula, I guess. So the spring league going for the future should be easier because you have 2 years of stuff to base stuff on. For example, we saw, I think it was a Mick got Alex Collins. So we know he's got Drew Brees and Alex Collins next year. Wake up, spell it off. Baltimore 6-10 new line. Go to sleep. I hope I didn't rename this or save it. I hope I don't lose it by failing to name it properly. So bear with me one moment. Okay, it saved as Arizona. That's not what I wanted. Who cares? So the first 2 teams had 6-10, 7-9, 6-10. Then we move on to Buffalo. That's Jason Collard's team. This is an interesting club. So they got Sam Bradford and Lamar Miller as your QBRB, and that's a nice place to be. This team was 7-9 last year, and really, I guess this is a year that Jason wants to do as well as he can with his team, because Bradford won't have a card next year, probably certainly won't be league eligible with like 43 attempts. I don't think Lamar Miller did that great this year. I could be wrong. So the QBRB situation is going to be not good. It'll be one of those forced rebuilding years or forced down years that happens to some of us when you get some key injuries, depending on what you want to do under those circumstances. You guys, not me, I'll almost certainly just take a year off and collect more draft picks and young players. But for this year, Bradford's got a real good card, but Lamar Miller's got a real good card. Bryce Burkhead's a fine backup running back. You got Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham, and Charles Clay at tight end. I wonder if he's going to run any 3 wide. He's got Chris Hogan and Rashard Matthews. The offensive line's got a 6, 2 5s, 2 4s for run blocking. Only 1 7, but 2 5s and 2 4s, and Bradford's real good flat. So the offense should be good. It should be nice. It should be a very solid offense that does well, moves the chains. Burkhead really is a nice help because Miller can run low on carries. 4-3 defense goes 6-4, 4-6. Interesting. 0-4-5 linebacker. That's going to hurt him. But 5-5, 6-5, 5 secondary with a safety 6. So you're going to attack this team, the interior of the line with your running game, right? Linebacker off tackle. You're going to attack the flats where you're 0-4-5. And he's got a little pass rush, but not enough to prevent you from throwing short long and hurting him with dump offs. But I think but the defense can do a little. The secondary is strong. The defensive end 6s at least doesn't have to worry about that. I don't like 4-3s with weak linebacking against the pass. You know that, and especially now, the weak defensive line in the linebacker off tackle area, so that's going to hurt him. But overall, I kind of like the team. Special teams aren't bad. Matt Bryant's a good kicker. He's got him. So, this team, I think 9-7. I think this team could go anywhere from 8-8 to 11-5. If he had a real bad year, it could be down below 500, 7-9. A lot of range for where this team's going to finish. But I think I'll go 9-7, and you'll see them in at least the mini playoffs. A potentially dangerous team in the postseason. As we've seen in Samifa, the lower seeds having a great ride this year. And Buffalo could be that type of team. You got to deal with Bradford and Lamar Miller in a playoff game and a pretty good offensive line and offense overall. Wake up, spell mode off. Buffalo 9-7, new line Chicago. Go to sleep. So you move on to the Bears. It's Lawrence Green's team. This is the last team that I think I did any type of a quick analysis for before the show yesterday. So the kids' the show might bog down incredibly after this. And maybe Dennis will force me to make notes in the future so that we can do a quick show and so he can participate because he likes to participate. He just likes to keep it down to, the length of a movie as opposed to the length of a miniseries, I suppose. So Lawrence's team had a real good year last year, I think. I intended doing something for me, so I might be slowed here for a few minutes. The Bears were 12-4 last year, had a great regular season. They get a disappointing postseason. I lost to Dennis 17-12 in the playoffs. Everyone knows you play. Look, there's so many great coaches. When you have a good team, you play Dennis, you play Jay, you play Ed, you play Paul, whoever. And there's other guys. This guy's real good. He could beat me easily. Let me see what I can do here. And Lawrence is a guy who used to struggle. In the last couple of years, he's really started to have a lot more success in all of the leagues. The Battle Royale format hasn't really been too kind to him, I don't think. But in the keeper leagues, he's just started to do real well. Now this year, unfortunately, I think that this team is not that strong. I think I had them under 500. I mean, Matthew Stafford's card is not that great. It's not terrible. And the 5 pass is real good. I mean, it looks pretty decent with the numbers, but maybe the long pass being weak. I know my formulas, he didn't come out that strongly. Only 18 short pass wrong completions. But he's great flat. But he's got Mike Gillisley. Got a great card. I guess Wendell Smallwood and T.J. Yeldon are your other guys to run the ball with. He's got some very good receiving targets. He's going to run the 2 tight end formation. He's got Pierre Garcon, Antonio Brown. Really, Antonio Brown, Tyler Eifert are your main guys. And then Pierre Garcon, Eric Ebron. That's not bad. And this offensive line is tremendous for the run. He's got 4 6s. Joe Thomas, T.J. Lang, Travis Frederick, and Taylor Lewan. And then the black sheep is a 4-7 at least. Alex Boone. He's got 3 7s in the line. So that's going to help his running game a lot. McGillis has got a great card, but he's going to have to work Yeldon and Wendell Smallwood in there so he can run more and not be too one-dimensional. He'll throw it downfield to these guys short and long. The flat pass card is excellent. The pass blocking is good. So the offense will probably do pretty well, but it's not great. And Lawrence is a good offensive coach as well. That's his side of the ball. It's where he invests all his capital, as it were, and where his interest is, and he also does a good job with it. 3-4 defense goes 5-5-5, so that's good. 4-0-0-5, the odd 0-0 linebacker. Not double barrel. What would that be? Double empty barrel? 0-0? Double failure? I don't know. We've got to find a good catchphrase for the 0-0 linebacker, but 0-0, no? I don't know. But 5-5-5 defensive line, 4-0-0-5 linebackers. A 6 at one corner. The rest of the secondary is 4s. Now, what's interesting is it's right inside is a 0-6, though. Christian Kirksey. So he can come to the line of scrimmage and really help. And Lawrence gets, and the guys on the defensive line don't need a lot of help. They're all 5s. So Lawrence can flood flats, can double team corners and the safeties. He can do some things with his defense. They get hurt with the dump offs. I don't see Lawrence calling a lot of run. I think he get hurt if he's missing with double teams. I don't know what to make out of this team. I was going to pick them to be like 7-9. I'm thinking maybe 9-7. I think we'll give Lawrence some props here. Maybe I'll split the difference and go 8-8. That's where the show gets bogged down. As I think, Wendell Smallwood's a good kick returner, as is Benny Cunningham. Chris Jones gives up the block. Dustin Hopkins, not that great, but not that terrible. Bad opponent punt return as well. Not terrible, but I think I'll go 8-8 for this team. I'll go Weasley 8-8 for the Bears. But I can see them getting 9-7 or falling down to 7-9. It's tough to say just how well that offense will play with Stafford and only one good back, but the great line and the good targets. And then the defense, you can coach around it a little bit, but there are some holes there. Tough team to predict. I'll give them 8-8. Wake up. Spell mode off. 8-8, new line Cincinnati. Go to sleep. I'll tell you where the show is going to get bogged down is in about 5 minutes when we do Michael Reeves' team. My good friend Michael Reeves, I have some choice words for you, Michael. I'm running my draft pick. What are you doing there? And that's it for the teams that I had prepared ahead of time. And now we're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. That's Butch Schrammick's team. I see the studio audience has grown. If you're just joining me, I'm planning to do only a 2-hour show. Trying to get all the teams in 2 hours. We'll see if I can. See if I can. And maybe next time I'll just make sure not to do it when I'm busy, so I can go on for 4.5 hours and like I like to do. Cincinnati was 6-10 last year. That's Butch. Very fine coach, solid coach. Seems to be having his teams in the STRAT family of leagues. I think he's in SSFA and SAMHSA. He has those teams either going all out for the year or kind of taking a year off, which a lot of guys do with their strat teams in various sports. Nathan kind of likes to operate that way. Dan likes to always go for the year, but has talked about taking a year off with one of his teams upcoming, maybe a STRAT team. I don't remember. When it's the hill is too high to climb. Well, I think he took over, just took over a SAMHSA team that was bad. And so he's got them future oriented by force. It's just like there's no way this team could ever be competitive. I better go for the future. So kudos for Dan for doing that and recognizing. Okay, this team got Matt Ryan. That'll get your attention. You got Matt Ryan, David Johnson, and Devonta Freeman. That's nice. You got 3 7s in the offensive line. You got all 5s and a 6 and a 4 run blocking, so that's nice. You got Andy Janovich as a blocking back to help you as a good second tight end also, because Andy can't receive that well. Not really. So you'll be more impacted by double teams. But you got T.Y. Hilton, Larry Fitzgerald, Zach Miller, not bad. I wish that blocking back or second to them was a little better. And Dixon can catch the ball a little bit, I think. I got Tyreek Hill to return punts. This offense will be great with Matt Ryan, David Johnson, Devonta Freeman, T.Y. Hilton. Yeah, I wish he'd invested in a better blocking back pass last second to them, but he's going to get run calls. Otherwise, he'll kill you with David Johnson and Freeman with a good line. So you got to watch out for that. 4-3 defense. I think Butch was making a lot of trades for the year. I get the leagues confused. I think Matt Ryan was traded in SAMHSA. That's another good reason why I left SAMHSA. I won't get anything confused with SSFA when I'm doing these shows in the future. So 4-3 defense goes 5-5-5-5. That's solid. Goes 5-6-5 at linebacker. That's nice. And it goes, 5-5-6-5 in the secondary. But Shramick is loaded for bear. Well, my first big-time team I'm looking at here. Interesting. So, when you play a 4-3, if you have all 5 of the defensive line, it can be there's a real solid run defense there without a lot of effort on your part, just because the cards are better and you get the solid 5s. And he's going 5-6-5 at linebacker. Having that one linebacker 6 against the pass in a 4-3 is really helpful. And when you have this kind of secondary, you can bring your free safety up more if you want to. So you can bring the free safety up to flood flats. You can move Johnson around more because he won't be targeted as often. You can use the safety to double team guys. When he wants to stand around, he can stand around. Pass rush, a bit of an issue. 5-8-4 is not terrible, but there's no big linebacker here. A 4 right tackle and a 1 right end going up against everyone's left guard and left tackle is not going to yield too much. So dump off could hurt a little bit, but this is an excellent all-around team. And on top of that, he's got Tyreek Hill to return the punts. And that's an impact card, I can tell you, having used it in AW, even though I went 7-9. It made a big difference. Out of nowhere, we get, touchdowns, 25-yard returns, 19-yard returns. And he's got Caleb Sturgis, 2-7, 11-12 only from the 23 to 32. A great opponent kickoff coverage, at least. Interesting. I'd have to study that squib kick chart and do some math. Dan was talking about it when we were talking about Dale Ripley using it in the STRAT playoffs. So it seems real good. What do I do with this team? Butch, good coach, real good team. Matt Ryan, great card. Could this team go 13-3 or 14-2? I'm going to give them 13-3. Tyreek Hill, I think, bumped them up with the returning from 12-4. And I think this team could easily. So this is a team that you look at and you say, all right, I expect this team to be in the semifinals, right? They look like a semifinal team. Anybody could lose any game. We know that, and we've seen that. But this is a team you look at and say, yeah, semifinals or better. That's really all you can hope for, because look, you get in the semifinals of one of these STRAT family of leagues, you're probably playing a very good team. You're probably playing a big-time coach. So even if you're good yourself, even if your team's real good, and if you're a good coach, you know, it's a real tough game. You can't just say, I'm going to waltz in there and win because I got Matt Ryan or whatever. So, and Butch knows that. He's been around the block, and most of us know that. So, predict. So, I mean, to me, you make the semifinals, you had a good year. Of course, we all want more than that if we have a real good team, but it's not always in the cards, even if we coach well or whatever. The other guy coaches well, too. Wake up, 13-3, new line. Cleveland, new line. Go to sleep. Oh, goody. Now we get to do Michael Reeves, Cleveland Browns. I like to do about a half hour in this team right now. I'm not doing bad with my schedule for 2 hours. I did 6 teams in about half an hour. But 5 of them had the preview. So Michael Reeves. Oh, Michael. Such a disappointment to me. Mr. Reeves, what are you doing? So Michael Reeves, a couple of years ago, sends me like an email out of the blue or a YouTube message or whatever. I forget what happened. Or if he joined one of the STRAT family of leagues, maybe this one, and said, hey, I came to Strat Football Online from your YouTube videos. He was, whatever, futzing around on YouTube like we all do. And I guess looking at football stuff and saw a Strat Football thing, and it was one of our broadcasts or something. And he liked it and wanted to play and join the league. We had 2 guys that way. I think he's the only keeper. I think the other guy left. And he, Michael's a very great guy, very social guy, and quickly befriended Dennis and me and spent a lot of time texting and instant messaging and emailing about potential trades or this and that. And Michael was all gung-ho for, I'm going to do it the Tom Cook way, and I'm going to do it the future, and I'm going to draft all the young players, and I'm going to take my time, and blah, blah, blah. A couple of 4-12 seasons, he's like, I had enough of this. He wants to win now. We all want to win now. He wants to win now. Nothing wrong with that, as my wife would say. She's more in that camp. If she was a general manager, I'd have a lot of problems. I'll tell you that much. She doesn't want to hear about winning in the future. What are you talking about? Why don't you want to win? She's more competitive than I am. I'll tell you that much. I had a hard time selling on a multi-year rebuild. So she would do well with Dennis. She could be in his front office. That's what she wants to see. But so Michael, he started caring about the year, I would say, with teams that should not be cared for the year. And we talk about philosophy, right? And I go, I always focus on the future. And I like to play that way. And it's probably not the most successful way. I admit that. That's the way I enjoy the most. So we talk about why people play the game and how they enjoy the game. Dan doesn't want to do a multi-year rebuild and wait 2 or 3 years. He doesn't go 4-28 like my SSFA team has done the last 2 years. So I don't know what Michael's way is, but there's a way I find that is kind of neither fish nor fowl. I feel like if you're going, if your team's not very good, going future is probably the way to go. And you have to be patient for those 2 or 3 years. Even though Dan did a great job with that STRAT team 2 years ago, and took a horrible roster and made it a playoff team, and maybe could have even won a round or something. Lost a close playoff game, I think, to Tim. And we've seen teams now in this STRAT playoff season who weren't that great go very far. So that's, an exhibit for that. We saw Jay win the SSFA championship with Mike Lennon at quarterback. So when that happens, you're not doing these teams any favors who are like 6 and 10 teams or 7 and 9 teams. And they think I could do that too. So we'll see. So Michael's team was kind of future-oriented, youthful. In my opinion, was years away from competing. He said it felt like it wasn't that far from competing, but okay. So he did not have a franchise quarterback. And I was trading down from number 3, perhaps. Yeah, that's right. I was 3-5. I was trading down for number 3 because I have Derek Carr and now Jimmy Garoppolo. And I wasn't going to get I wanted Ezekiel Elliott. I was like, dude, I've got Derek Carr. I got young players all over the field. I know Carr had a bet NFL 2017, but I still like him as a quarterback. I think he's very, very good. I'm not worried about it. I was like, man, if I could add Ezekiel Elliott and he might be like the next like big time back, oh my God, that'd be great. Don drafts first. He's like, yeah, I'm going to draft Ezekiel Elliott. I was like, but you got Andy Dalton, Don. Maybe you get a franchise. Like, we talked about different ways of playing. Don plays very casually now. He was a little more into it 10 years ago, back in IFL days. But Don plays a little more casually now. And he's like, hey, I need a running back. There's a running back there. I'm taking a running back. So that's what he's going to do. And that's, there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone has to be a Nazi about the game like I am, or be into it like super incredibly. Guys can play casually or whatever, So Don's taking Elliott first. So that messed up my plan. Well, that's true that I made a big trade down with Michael, picked up a couple of first-round picks and some other stuff. So he trades to number 3, right? So the team's future-oriented. Because believe me, look at this roster. It's not certainly built for the now. With all due respect, Michael. And then he takes Dak Prescott over Jared Goff. I have Michael's 1 next year, but after the DeAndre Hopkins fiasco with Nathan and Samifa, I've learned I'm not going to count on a first-round pick being in the top 10 or 12. Like, it's Michael Reeves. This team's not that great. I'll say, all right, this pick will be, I don't know, 7 to 12, whatever. But it took Prescott. Now, part of it, and he's a Rams fan. But part of the reasoning is from his own mouth that he's got Jared Goff in, I think, SFFDL. And he likes to have more than one player to root for and doesn't want to put all of his eggs in one basket. And look, I've got Andrew Luck on both of my fall teams, which means next year both my teams have no quarterback. So if I had Andrew Luck and, I don't know, Matthew Stafford, one of them would have a quarterback. So he takes Prescott. And he's like, well, plus you see what he's doing in AW for Nathan. I'm like, Nathan's got a good team, though. You have a good player. There's a big difference between a good team and a good player, even the most important players. So Prescott's got an excellent card. No doubt about it. But then he made all these other moves for the year. And now he had no first-round pick already because he had to trade up to get his franchise quarterback, which I think is totally acceptable, to give up the multiple 2s and the extra stuff for the young franchise quarterback if you believe in him. I'm not the hugest Dak Prescott fan. We know that. Even though he passes the ESPN total QBR threshold, which only says that he will be at least pretty good. Doesn't say he'll be great. It says he'll be at least Joe Flacco. Keep his career for 11, 12 years, and you can win with him, so to speak, But he traded every pick from the 5th through 10th round. He went Dan Morin on me. Keeping away the 4. Dan says I would have had the 4 out of there, I'll tell you that much. And by league rule, of course, you cannot trade the 2 and 3. So if you're going to go into next year's draft, you have no 1 because you had to trade that to get the quarterback. I understand that. And nothing in the 5th through 10th rounds. And you traded them mostly for guys for the year. Alfred Blue. Then you better have a good year. So let's see what we got here. Okay. And this team was 8-8 last year. And Michael was very excited to be 8-8 because he said that he exceeded our predictions. When I look back, Dennis predicted it would be 9-7. So he missed on Dennis's prediction, but I predicted him to be 6-10. So he exceeded his predictions by a half a game. But he was excited for that. But okay. But everyone plays different ways, and he wants to exceed the prediction. So Michael told me he was 8-8 last year. The team has to be better this year. He was starting at safety 0 last year. All my stars and garters. Joe Golden was starting at nose tackle 0. And so he went 10-6. It was amazing. And it wasn't like he had Aaron Rodgers and that Spencer Ware card or something. He had Alex Smith and some decent running backs, but that was a great job. Lost to the Vikings 31-9. One of the Vikings. If you have not watched it and don't know the result, you should listen to that Vikings-Houston Somifa semifinal, which was earlier tonight. Well worth your time, I promise you. Real good game. Exciting times at Somifa for a lot of people. Not me. I lost in the divisional round. It's going 13-3. I lost the divisional round again. And my quarterback is won't have a card next year, so well, that's okay. I'll take a year off. So what do we got here? As I told you, to show bogged down with Cleveland. We got Dak Prescott, a quarterback's got a great card, and that's it. Alfred Blue, Devontae Booker, and Jeremy Langford. And Alfred Blue's card's okay. It's not a bad low-end number 2 card. Not going to catch too many passes. Devontae Booker, I think, has got a good receiving card, which he better because he can't run the ball. Yes, he has a good receiving card. I've about 100 carries. You got a 6'5" on the left side of the line. You got no real blocking back for blocking anyway. So I guess you'll see the 2 tight end formations. You got Dak Prescott, you got Alfred Blue, Devontae Booker, and Jeremy Langford. You got a 6 at left guard, a 5 at left tackle, 4 is elsewhere. I'm spending more time in this team because I've been talking with Michael about this team for months, probably. You got a 7 at left guard. You got 2 5s and 2 4s. You got Donta Moncrief, Jarvis Landry, Lance Kendricks, and AJ Derby. So this offense won't be good. Last year you had Jay Cutler, and I think kind of a decent back. This year you got Dak Prescott and nothing else. You know, the line's okay, but the offense will not be good. It should be below average. Defense is a 3-4. I know he's got some good defensive players. Goes 6-5-6 on the defensive line with Davion Clowney, Aaron Donald, Jarrell Casey. And I think J.J. Watt is on this team. But, of course, he's injured again 2 years in a row. So that's a lot of firepower there. 6-5-6. It was 4-0-5-5 at linebacker, 5-4 corner, 5-4 safety. Defense isn't bad. You have to blitz to get some more pass rush going. Should be good against the run. Could flood some flats, could double team here. Defense could play okay. I don't see this being a good team. I don't see this team getting anywhere near a semifinal, which I think is kind of what you want to have. If you want to have a team like, all right, yeah, they can get in the playoffs, but yeah, I realistically think that I can advance. That me making the Final Four wouldn't be a miracle, or something like that. So special teams, opponent kick and punt is fine. Punter is okay. Return game, not a lot there. Field goal kicker is bad. Kind of neutral special teams. Prescott's got a real good card. Defense can do some things. Michael's still developing as an online coach, but really doing well in that area. For a guy who hasn't been around that long. I got to give him the 7 and 9. I should predict him to go 12 and 4. There you go, Michael. You want to exceed the prediction? I'll predict to go 12 and 4. Then you go 10 and 6 and have a disappointing season. But that would be harsh. So I'll predict Cleveland to go 7 and 9. And I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't miss Jared. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you're not that great this year. He's hoping to go 9 and 7. So wouldn't you take the guy who has the better card for the future, for next year, instead of the guy with the better card for now? You're 7 and 9. You're like a middle level team this year, and now your quarterback's gonna be much worse next year. Dak Prescott instead of Goff. But anyway, and yes, I have his first round pick, but that's not why I'm disappointed. Michael said he wanted to do things a certain way, and he has gone far afield from that, and does not do things that way. I think this team is years from really competing. This team won't win. I don't think this team will win 10 games. Certainly not this year or next year. I think you want to get to 10 plus victories, right? To feel like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. But we'll see. Michael's a sharp guy. Yeah, I think he has to focus on what he wants to do and then stick with it. You don't want to zig and zag too much. You want to be flexible, but there's a time to recognize I just need to get more long-term talent on the team. So we'll see what happens. Wake up, 7-9, new line, go to sleep. So now I got to go much more quickly through the rest of the teams, which isn't fair. Shame on you, Michael, for making me take a long time on your team. Detroit was 3-13 last year. That's Dandy Don Morton, who I just referenced. And Don's a pretty decent coach. He beat me in a 1968 IFL playoff game many years ago. I think won the championship that year. Plays it a little more casually. And let's see what we got here for the. Are they silver and gray? The Lions? Silver and blue? Silver and blue, I think. There's a song or something for them. So he's got Andy Dalton doing a decent card. Ezekiel Elliott's got one of the better cards in this set. Solid yardage on short gains and the big gains. That's the kind of card I think you really want in the modern game. He's got 170 offensive line. Unfortunately, left the guy right guard. Should put him at left guard. He's got 2 5s, a 4, and a 3. Does have a 6 and 2 5s. Does have a 6 at one tight end and a blocking back 6. He also has a 0 at the other tight end, who's a better receiver, Kyle Rudolph. Got Tyler Lockett, Terrence Williams, Nick O'Leary, Kyle. So this offense should be pretty good. Should do some things, be pretty solid. And like I said, Don's a pretty good coach. 4-3 defense goes 5-4-5-4 with a 5-5-4 linebacking crew, 5-5-5-4 in the secondary. No pass rush to speak of. You know, I've said it a million times, so I'll keep saying it. You know, I'm always leery of these 4-3 defenses that don't have a lot going on in the front seven. You know, he can't concede the run because he got 4s. He doesn't totally shut down the pass with 5-5-4 linebacker. But, you know, if the 5s aren't bad, and you can bring up the safety to flood a little bit, because you do have 5s as your short pass defenders, don't both get hurt, but it's not bad. It's not bad. This is a team that's like close. So wouldn't mind looking at their special teams. Opponent kick and punt is normal. Punter seems fine. Riley Dixon's actually one of the better ones this year. Return game, kind of ordinary, though Tyler Lockett's okay in the kicks. But you get the touchbacks anyway. Hauschka, not that great. It's annoying me and on a wind. He's all right. So it seems not bad. Dalton, Elliott, decent defense. Don's a pretty good coach. I'm going to give him 9-7. 9-7. I would not be surprised at 10-6. I really wouldn't. Somewhere between like 7-9, 11-5, but more likely 8-10 wins. So to give him 10, that seems high. I'll go 9-7 for Detroit. Wake up. Detroit 9-7, new line. Go to sleep. Pretty efficient, huh? Green Bay, the strike force, right here. Listening, I think. Oh, where do you go? There he is. Benjamin J. Grimm. I am a Marvel Comics aficionado, Randy, so I'm well versed in the Fantastic Four and Mr. Grimm. His one-time girlfriend, Alicia Masters. And if you are an old Marvel Comics fan, and a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is celebrating its 10-year anniversary this year, you will know that you may know that Marvel, that Disney, which owns Marvel, purchased the movie and TV studios from Fox, and Fox had the intellectual rights to some Marvel creations, most notably the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So it is anticipated in the coming years that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four will join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, probably most people are sick of all the superhero movies. I grew up as a huge Marvel Comics fan, so I watched them all with nostalgia giving me an added bump. All right, so Randy's Green Bay Packers how'd they do last year? 7-9 last year. I think that was a team with Johnny Manziel, who had an excellent season for Randy. I don't know if he was 7-5 or 6-6, and then struggled down the end. But it was hard to look. It's hard to make the playoffs with Johnny Manziel. Let's face it. So nothing wrong with that performance. This year he made the move for Joe Flacco. I think I wrote it. We talked about this in the draft show. Randy's been aggressive, and I think I complimented Randy on the meticulous crafting of his roster. Like Randy will make trades and make moves, but he's not giving away the farm, and he's making reasonable moves, I would say. And he's not trying to get a bunch of 31-year-old guys, and he's trying to have an overall team. I think he's done a good job of that. This year he traded a little bit to get Joe Flacco, helping Nathan's draft position. At the same time, let's get Nick Foles on the bench. How about that? Interesting. And now you got Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, and Jacoby Brissett. Foles, I don't think, had a great statistical year in Philly this year, but maybe he'll be traded somewhere and start, and you could see a renewal of Foles in the picture for Green Bay, the one-time franchise quarterback. And Jacoby Brissett had a decent year for the Colts, and I think has shown that he could hang around in the league and play somewhere, although maybe not starting this year, hopefully, if my goddamn quarterback can come back, Andrew Luck, on 2/3 now of my keeper teams. Oh, boy. Curse you, Robert, I say. Flacco, I think his card's not that great this year. See, now on the teams where I did not prepare before the show. So, flat pass is good. Interception's a little higher than you like, but he's reasonable. Randy likes to run this, as I said in the other show. Flat pass, run the ball. And Flacco's got, that's right, some good long pass completions. He made the trade in the draft to get Tyrell Williams. He's got Travis Kelce. So you got some weapons there. You got LaShawn McCoy, Le'Veon Bell, Tyrell Williams, Travis Kelce, Michael Crabtree. You got 3 6'7s on the offensive line. Hello. 5'5 right tackle, 4'5 right guard. And Randy had been running West Coast, and now he's added a little bit of the downfield element with a long pass to Tyrell Williams, maxed out 15-21, and Flacco's got a pretty good long pass. Wrong card. So we could see the best version yet of this team. And Randy's been coaching that style very well. And I want to add in the long pass element. So let's watch for that in the regular season. I'm intrigued to see how he does. I don't know if I play him this year. Let's see. SSFA schedule. And it's organized. His next year's schedule. The grid already ready to go. That's how you do it, folks. Green Bay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He just emailed me tonight. Of course I play him. Opening block. I guess it wasn't paying the closest attention. Who do I play opening block? Let's see. Let's bog the show down further. Giants, Joe Golden, Atlanta. I just did them. Who's that? That's Mick Bouchon. Kansas City, it's Dan. And Green Bay. Randy. Intriguing block. All right. The defense is a 4-3. 5-4-5-6. With Olivia Vernon doing the honors as the 6-4-5-5 linebacking crew. 4's at corner, 5's at safety. Well, Nathan, Dennis and I noticed in the last year or two that there were teams that we kind of liked in some of these season preview shows. And there was a team of his and there was a team of mine in various leagues that had underperformed. And we noticed that there was one thing that each of these teams had in common, and it was that they all had corner force. One of those teams was Dennis's teams, and one of those teams was my team. And other teams belong to other coaches, of course. So it doesn't look bad on paper, right? 5-4-5-6, 4-5-5, 4-5-4-5. Doesn't sound bad, right? But when you're running the 4-3 and you got a 4 there, you can't just concede the run too easily. And then you got 4-5-5 linebackers. You can be hit with a good flat pass quarterback. So you be West Coasted. Then you got corner force. So you can't really bring Mike Mitchell, the free safety, up to flood the flats as much as you'd like, because you got to pay attention to the receivers here. It could be a frustrating defense for a coach to use. So I just don't know how they're going to play out. Randy's coaching is pretty good. He's another guy that's improved a lot in the recent years. But I'm worried a little about this defense. I don't like the 4-3s that aren't real strong as it is. And then you add quarter 4s into the mix. You got 8 and 9 at defensive end, 5 at guard. So you got some pass rush there. I just don't know what to make of it. And then the special teams, Darren Sproles, pretty good. Kicker's not that great. What do I do with this team? I want to say 8-8, you know, but I've been shortchanging Randy a little bit. He usually exceeds my prediction by a game or two, so maybe I should give him the bump and go up to 9-7. Flacco, LaShawn McCoy, Le'Veon Bell. Come on, Tom. 6-7s. Corner fours. Miami, the Rams, Atlanta, the Jets, Oakland, Jacksonville, Houston, Buffalo. The schedule doesn't look too bad. It gets a little tough there late. All right, I'll give them 9-7. You got to respect when these guys start doing better and exceeding your predictions. You got to start bumping them up by a victory. So I'll give Randy 9-7. On the defense worries me. He could go 10-6, and the offense is real good. Randy knows how to use his team. He plays like a nice, solid all-around game. Could go 10-6, could underachieve, could go 8-8. I think 10-6 more likely than 8-8. And another team like Buffalo, I talked about earlier, that I think could be very tough in the playoffs. Anytime you play somebody with a good quarterback, running back combination, you got good receiving targets, you know, and there's plenty of fives on this defense. Anytime you play a team like that, it's a tough team. Ron Dickinson comes to mind. He's out in the SoMeFA semifinals after a 9-7 regular season. So should I give 10-6? 10-6 sounds generous. I'll go 9-7, but I expect them to be in the playoffs. Not mini playoffs, but playoffs. Maybe he'll make the mini playoffs and have to win a game. And he could be dangerous. So we'll see. Wake up. Green Bay 9-7, new line. Go to sleep. I'm now officially behind schedule. 9 out of 24 teams 1 hour in. So I would have to go 4 minutes a team from here on out. Can I do the Houston Texans by 10:05? Houston Texans are Bradley Miller. I got to remember that Paul is San Diego in every league except SoMeFA, because TJ beat him to it in the original 12 teams that drafted in SoMeFA. For those who don't know, the way SoMeFA started was Ed found 12 guys, including himself, that he wanted to play in the league with. He didn't want to run a 12-team superstar league. So Ed, being Ed, ranked every single player in the entire draft, the entire inaugural draft. And what he did was you would have the first round, team 1 to 12, and then Ed took the next 12 best players from his rankings and took them out of the draft. Okay? And he did that every round, right? So you weren't drafting 12 out of 32, right? It was being really 24 out of 32. And then all of those additional players were in the year 2 SoMeFA draft pool, the so-called expansion teams. And I was in that draft. I was one of those teams. I got Steve McNair, number 2 overall. Tom Brady went first because it was like 2002, so Brady didn't go in the top 12. So, anywho, that's how that went. And I guess TJ, they chose names, and Paul, the misfortune of TJ claiming the San Diego Chargers. Paul's a huge Charger fan, including being a season ticket holder. So he's a Texans in SoMeFA. But Bradley Miller, former SSFA champion, is a Texans in SSFA. And this team, speaking of Tom Brady's right here, 8-8 last year. I think Bradley was disappointed with that. He's got Aaron Rip City Ripkowski as the blocking back. He can also go 2 tight end with Ladarius Green and Jack Doyle, whatever tickles his fancy. So you got Tom Brady, and then you got Derrick Henry and Duke Johnson. I like that, right? These guys have got short gains on the card. Duke Johnson card's pretty decent. Guessed wrong. And the linebacker guessed right. Even. Left tackle, not terrible, guessed right. And he's an excellent receiver. I thought he'd be a little better short pass, but okay. But you got Tom Brady. So you can probably run the ball. Duke Johnson gets wrong a little bit when he's in the game. So you got Derrick Henry, Duke Johnson, and some others like Chris Ivory, Terrence Ward. You got Brady. You got 4 7s and a 5 on the offensive line. You got sixes on the right side of the line, fives everywhere else. You got Sammy Watkins, J.J. Nelson. If you want to call some run, I might want to throw some bombs with Brady to J.J. Nelson. I wish the tight ends were better, like Darius Green and Jack Doyle. So you can rely on Brady's card more, but you got some big play threats there with Watkins and Nelson. Doyle's decent in the flat. The yardage is low. And Duke Johnson catches well. I don't think Derrick Henry's going to catch as well, but pretty good offense. 3-4 defense goes 6-4-6. Is that right? Damian Squares, I know it's tackle 4. Goes 6-4-6 on the defensive line. Goes 4-6-4-5 at linebacker, including Luke Kuechly as a 6-6 inside linebacker. All fives in the secondary with a 4 extra. So it's a good-looking defense. Kuechly is going to be coming up to help with the run. He's going to be sliding out to help Leonard Floyd. He's going to be standing there while Clay Matthews comes up for the run. So you're trying to avoid Kuechly a little bit. He's going to help him cover some areas and have disproportionate influence. Bradley's not the most aggressive defensive coach. I think there'll be a lot of standing around in the secondary, but there are fives. And he's got an 8 pass rusher here. Floyd's an 11. Matthews is 7 inside linebacker, a little bit there. So he can do some things there. I'd like to see what this special teams looks like. Foreign punt returns are very poor. Tommy Lewis isn't too bad. Erickson's not bad. Phil Dawson, only 2 to 11 to 12 out here, not terrible. I mean, nowadays, you like a guy to be at least 2 to 6, 33 to 37. And ideally give that extra out to the 39 or 40 or something. Because a lot of the guys are at least 2 to 6 now. But he's not bad. It doesn't come up often, but it can come up, a few times at halftime during the season, it seems to come up, right? Or maybe to win a desperation game at the end. So I don't know what to make of this team. I feel like he's short of, like we looked at that Cincinnati team before, I think he's short of that team. He's short of that surefire semifinal team, but it's a team that could make the semifinals. I wish he had slightly more high caliber rushing carries. I wish I was getting a little bit more out of these tight ends. If one of them was much better, I'd like the offense a lot better. Look, I'm nitpicking here because you're talking about a team with Tom Brady and a pretty good defense, and you're saying, and I'm asking myself, okay, is this like a team that I'm picking for the Super Bowl? Like, where are they in that upper level hierarchy? Can they hang with the Bengals that we just saw? Now, I love the sixes on the defensive end. When you have a 3-4, I really come around to really liking at least fives at defensive end for the 3-4 because you hate to have to bring up those outside linebackers because they cover people, right? Some guys might go the other way. Say, well, look, you can't run them and draw. And I'm covering a blocking back or something. But most guys, a lot of good teams have got a running back that can receive pretty well and a decent second tight end. So you can get into some problems there. But when you have like those fives or sixes at defensive end, you feel like you never have to bring it up there to cover. So that's nice. And especially if you're a little weak at nose tackle, okay, you can kind of coach around it. And you get Kuechly there, and Matthews can come up, and Kuechly can stay home, as I said before. So I've got over in this team. So I don't know what to do with them. I wish maybe there was a 6 at corner, and the nose tackle 5 would make a big difference, just like on my team. Maybe if one of these other linebackers was a 5, they're just a little short of where I'd like them to really be. He disappointed last year. He does have Tom Brady. I'll give him 11-5. Might be generous. This team could go 11-5. I'll give him 10-6. Because that's who I am. So I'll give 10-6 to Bradley. But very dangerous team and can certainly beat anybody in the playoffs. Wake up. Houston 10-6. New line. Jacksonville. Go to sleep. On to Jacksonville Jay. So Jay famously won back-to-back SSFA championships a couple of years ago. Then all he did last year was go 14-2. And on the quest for a third straight title or appearance, he lost in the semifinals to Dennis Crowley. Like you see what I'm saying? I said, hey, you make the semifinals, you had a good year. In the Somifa family of leagues, certainly Somifa/SSFA. 3 of the 4 teams in the SSFA semifinal last year, Dennis Crowley, Jay Villing, Ed Burrow. So if you have a great team and you're a good coach, you make the semifinal, you got to be one of those guys. who also have a good team. Okay, so you can't like kick yourself for losing. And even the divisional round, you're going to run into these guys, So like I lost to Ron Dickinson. My team wasn't great. I think overachieved my STRAT team at 13-3. We were thinking more 11-5. But I lost to Ron Dickinson in the divisional round. I'm not ashamed. It was a close game, overtime. Ron's an excellent coach. You run into these guys. It's like, hey, you tip your hat. Hopefully you get them next time. That's the best you could do. So do your best. So let's see what Jay's got in store for us this year in this version of the Jags. I think he said he thought this team wouldn't be quite as good. He's got Carson Palmer, who is not that great. Throws some picks. His interception number gets right is not where I'd like it to be, and those seem to come up more. Short pass wrong, not that great. Long pass got 9, 12. So he's not bad, but the interceptions will hurt him, and I think he's in the 20s into my ratings. And Jay needs a future quarterback now with Palmer retired. C.J. Anderson and Kenneth Dixon. Dixon's got a good card that people like. Fozzie Whitaker also, and C.J. a third guy. So good running backs. The blocking has dropped off some. Presumably, Jay knows his team better than me. I'm going off of memory when I say things like that a lot of the time. So don't be like, what do you mean? My blocking last year was actually worse. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't have your blocking from last year memorized. Whoever you are. I'm trying to, whatever. I'm used to Jay having more fives and stuff on the offensive line, I guess. He's got 1-6 at right guard. He got a 5-7 at left tackle, 2 4s and a 0. He does have 2 7s on the left side and a couple of 5s. So the pass blocking should be fine. Blocking back 6-5 will help. So runs toward the left will be good. And just in general, he'll help. Also has a tight end 5. So runs to the right will also be helped by Patrick DeMarco, who sometimes will take a seat for Dennis Pitta. He's got Julian Edelman, Deshaun Jackson, Antonio Gates has got a pretty good card. So the offense can do some things. And Jay's got, of course, excellent coaching ability. Dixon, Whitaker, CJ. So this team will be interesting. I didn't like his STRAT offense this year. I think this offense will be better, possibly with the quarterback worse. I don't know. I have to look at the stats. But just in terms of, again, the bar is high for Jay, right? He's won 2 of the last 3 SSFA championships. He won last year's STRAT championship. He was 14-2 in SSFA. So we're talking about a high bar when I say those things. You know what I'm saying? Jay knows that. So Jay knows what I think of his we all think of his coaching and his success. So 3-4, that goes 4-5-5 in the defensive line. 0-6-6-4 linebacker. Dan Moore is salivating here with a 12 right end and 12s at both outside linebackers in the 3-4 and a 9 in Dunlap. Even nose tackle 6 is not bad for pass rushing. So, I mean, Jake can come at you with heavy-duty pass rush. And, wow, secondary goes 6-5, 6-6. 6 is everywhere except the safety 5. So now you're cooking with gas. I mean, corner 6s are defensively, from my spreadsheets, corner 6s is about the best thing you could have. Unless you get all linebacker 6s, which is like really, really, really hard. Corners, I would still rather the corners. Corner 6s, I mean, that's not true, but corner 6s are easier to get by. So just whatever, they're both really good. Corner 6 is possibly the best thing you could have in your defense with my spreadsheets. He's got corner 6s, safety 6, strong safety 5. Inside linebackers, both 6s against the pass. Nose tackle 5. Doesn't have to help him out as much. Can slide these inside linebacker 6s out and blitz one of his 12s on the outside. Has got a backup 45 at outside linebacker. So if he thinks you're going to take advantage of Willie Young because you got some good receiver at running back or blocking back to match up there, at least he can bring in Kyle Emanuel, the 4 there. So this is going to be a defensive team. It's going to play real well, a defense, because Jay knows what he's doing. And they can stop the run, and they can sack you, and they can defend the flat pass, and they can defend the rest of the passes. And I don't think there's anything else left to defend. Special teams, when you have a real good defense, you like to have a good punt returner because you're going to be forcing more 3 and outs. Let's see what Jay's got. Marcus Sherels, 3 touchdown. It's not an accident. Okay, so that's going to help him in a couple of games. I get really angry when it goes to Edelman and he fumbles out on a 3 when Sherels had a touchdown. The field goal for Vanna Vinatieri is real good. So, and again, look, it depends on the team. I'm sorry if, if you haven't had a lot of success, I'm not going to pick you as good as a team that's had, as a coach that's had a lot of success. It's just, I mean, Jay's been dominating, and I see a defense like this, and I know Jay's going to do real well. So that makes the offense look a lot better in retrospect. I love this defense, and I'm really interested to see what Jay's going to do with it. I'm going to give him a 12-4 mark, which might be high, but he's earned the overvaluation. Wake up, 12-4, new line. Go to sleep. Kansas City, here I come. Are the Chiefs the 12 team here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counting is hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're number 12. So I'm behind schedule, but not doing that bad. I haven't done the Jets yet, though. It's going to be a problem. I can skip Nathan's team. 1-15. So I'll catch up quickly on Nathan's team, I hope. Super rebuild. I love it. After my own heart. Or mind, at least. Kansas City, Dan Moore and the Chefs. Dan likes to go for the year. He's got Aaron Rodgers. It's very, very good. Where do I have Aaron Rodgers? I should bring up I mentioned Carson Palmer. Bring up my player ratings with formulas. This is for when I was going to be in Psalmsville. I got Rodgers as the number 3 quarterback. I got Ryan, Brady, and Rodgers. I just did some of this when I was helping Dennis with his Battle Royale draft. Not really helping him. Just he has my opinion about something. I give my opinion. I wasn't really terribly involved in the thing. Last year, Dan went 11-4-1. I remember that. But the great, see, those 4 or 5 playoff games are so good. So me for SSFA, those 4 or 5 playoff games, that's like the best divisional round matchup usually. You get some other good ones, but usually like those are 2 teams like they weren't that far from getting that 1, 2, or 3 seed, and then now they're locking horns. It was fighting against Ed. I remember calling that game. Kansas City at San Francisco, 25-22. I remember that was a close game. So he had a real good year. 11-4-1. You're the 4th seed. You're playing Ed in the first round, the divisional round, I should say, and you play a real close game. All right, you lost, but that's all you can ask is to be there, and you're there in the 4th quarter and you see what happens. So that was a good year for Dan last year. And he likes to compete for the year. Rodgers has nice end running. Look at that. And a good must-run card again. But throwing is where he does even better than running. Look at that short pass card. Come on. 2-5-9, 14, 18. And then he gets the must-run bump as well. 18-25. Interceptions are understandably fairly low. And 7, 13 on the bomb. All right, 5 incomplete, right and wrong, flat pass. Not that big a deal. I had that with Andrew Luck. It didn't seem to bother me too much. He's got a great quarterback card. I wish he had a little more in the running game. Can't have everything every year, Dan will tell you. Jeremy Hill, not a big fan of this card. I think Chandrick West card isn't too bad. I'm wrong. It is. Tim Hightower's got an okay card. Did some work for TJ and Somifa. I would have liked to see a little better card somewhere. I mean, Dan's always trading a lot for the years. There's a lot of holes to fill. And I know he traded for Terrence West and Somifa, but it didn't work out as well. I'd like to see like a little better running card. I know they can be hard to come by. I know they're expensive, and I know they're like 1-year guys, and it's like, I think Dan would rather get those players that give him 2 or 3 years left. Because Aaron Rodgers obviously doesn't seem to be falling off anytime soon. And so yeah, we'll see what happens with the running game. He's got 3 5s in the offensive line, got 3 7s. Looks like if this is right, it's the first league top file. It's got Dwayne Brown on the right side, unless it's just his pro set. Interesting. George Fan at the left side. Maybe one of the stronger right side for run blocking. Maybe he figures a lot of guys are putting the pass rush with the left end, trying to be cute, which they do. So it's the preseason cat and mouse. Guys trying to figure out, where's my defensive end? Where should I put the better defensive end? And the other guys say, where should I put the better pass blocking offensive tackle? So, okay. I probably left him on the left side. Plus, you get all fives of them. He wants to mix it up. I don't know. Dan's a very good coach, of course, knows what he's doing. You got Steve Smith, you got Amari Cooper, Jacob Tamme, and Cameron Brate. How good is Steve Smith this year? Only 5 something deep. So Dan had fallen hard for the West Coast. So the downfield passing is not as important to him. Cooper's good though. Interesting offense, and Rodgers is real good. He's got pass blocking, dump offs. I don't know. I would like to see a little more of something there. Maybe a better running back car. Maybe one of these tight ends a little bit better. I don't know. I'm not sure. But you got Aaron Rodgers. So it's not like a bad offense. Let's look at the defense. 4-3. Always excited to look at Dan's defenses. Yannick Ngakoue. I traded him the right to draft him for Jake Matthews. 2 good players. I think we both agree. 0655 444 5555. Now he's got some pass rush here. 970. Couldn't get that right tackle going. I'm sure that bothers him. 9707 with a 12 at outside, 8 in the middle, and 11 on the outside. Now only one of those guys will come up in a 4-3, but you're going to see nickel 3-3-5s and 3rd and long. He likes to blitz the wall to get the bump. I mean, you have the 4-3 and you're blitzing at those bumps. It really helps. It won't take much for Dan to be looking at, 13, 11, 4, 11, 14, that type of deal. With the asterisk 4 and Chandler Jones, safety blitz at times. Now, what bothers me, of course, you got all 4s here. You're a 4-3 defense at all 4s. Guys are going to come after you with the flat passing. And it's going to be harder for you, I think. You want to bring the safety up. The end run is something you got to cover. Because that guy's a 0, Jared Crick a 4 on the bench. And all 5 in the secondary, which is nice, which is good. But I wish there was a 6 in there if I was going to have to be covering these flats. Let me see what's going on with the special teams. Opponent punting gives up a long gain. Opponent kickoff gives up a long gain. Otherwise, it's a good case. I remember I had him in the top 12. I wanted him. The return is not that great. The case is at least good. McManus, I think, is very good, right? 2-11 and 12. 2-6. Okay, he's fine. So I see Aaron Rodgers. I know Dan goes for the year. So right away, my brain's thinking playoff team, right? So then I start nitpicking because I know this is supposed to be a playoff team. And I'm not looking at a team that maybe they can get in, maybe they go 8-8, 9-7. I'm looking at a team that I'm thinking not more might be out for more. So I feel like I wish there was a little more going on the offense, a little more explosion somewhere, or a better tight end at one of these 2 spots, along with at least one good running back car. I guess wrong. I would like to see that type of thing. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I'm halfway through the show. I'm doing the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm wrapping them up, and then you can join me with the next team here.
Okay.
As I'm trying to work at a decent pace. I'm slowing down a little bit here, but I'm going to make it up on Nathan's team because he's rebuilding.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
What do you think? Can you see? What do you think of this defense?
Let me look.
Can you see it? Kansas City defense.
Oh, Chandler Jones. That's a nice piece. Yannick Ngakoue. A lot of pass rush. Poor Tony McDaniel. He's not going to be doing much getting to the quarterback, but the other guys all seem to be capable of giving you plus pass rush. So I like that.
Okay. Now the team is good. This is an interesting team to try to figure out. He's got Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback, great card, top 3 in my rankings. The running backs aren't that great. Tim Hightower is okay. Jeremy Hill is kind of okay, I guess, kind of not that great. And the other guys aren't really good. Then, the receivers, Amari Cooper's good, but then Steve Smith, Jacob Tamme, Cameron Brate, So there's 3 sevens, 3 5 sevens, a 0 5 and a 0 4. So that's the offense, and then the defense 0 6 5 5 in the line.
That's fine. I mean, the secondary. I'm not paying too much attention to the few holes that you'll have there on the end run, because you can bring Jones down to plug that. And that proves effective on 2 levels. The secondary is great, so you try to throw over the top of these guys. You got 5 5 5 5. I don't see too much of a problem with it. I mean, I know that you're right. The offense would do better with a guess-wrong running back, but I think this is a very workable team.
Well, what about the 4-3 with 4-4-4 linebackers? I worry about getting straight for the flat passing, and you have to defend this end run guy, and you can run at these 5s if you have to. It's not great, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be looking to do a lot of flat passing if you're going against them, but we've all been subjected to those flat pass sacks. If you get enough pass rush going, even those can be up to 40% chance. So I'm not saying it's a top 5 offense or defense, but it's I think it can get you what you need to do.
Yeah, I was talking about this in the during the playoff game earlier tonight between Minnesota and Houston, and don't spoil it in case anyone hasn't watched it yet, but about guys handling certain defenses. Like, I know that Dan will do well with this defense, like Dan or Nathan or Paul or you, I guess. Well, you do well with any defense, but like those like Nathan and Dan are the 2 guys that I know if they go a heavy pass rush and have some other holes, it works for them. So I know Dan will get a lot out of it. I'm just trying to figure out 4-4-4 linebackers in a 4-3, no 6s in the secondary, a 0 defensive end. I know he's going to work around it, and I know he's going to flood flats at times and do the old empty looking and flood outside flats at times. I know Dan's a really good coach. It's just interesting to see what he's going to do. So my prediction for this team, I'm going to go 10-6. Do you want to make a prediction, Dennis?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It's a 10-6 type team. Can go a couple games above or a couple games below.
Now, are you going to be with us long enough to keep track of the rest of the predictions, or not really? Okay. Well, I wrote my predictions down from Arizona through Jacksonville. So from Kansas City on, you keep it, and then I'll send you mine later. Okay. So you got Kansas City at
keep it for a couple more teams, and then I'll let you know when I'm ready for you to.
All right. Hold on a second then. Wake up. Kansas City 10-6 new line. Los Angeles. Go to sleep. And we have a vigorous studio audience, Dennis. So 6 guys.
I know.
Here.
This is great. Everybody, pat yourselves on the back for tuning in to a last-minute show live. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. So you're going to want to hear my Michael Reeves segment, Dennis.
Okay.
When the show is over. Michael, very disappointed, Michael. All right. Now I was trying to do a 2-hour show. I started like 9:04. So I got to pick up the pace. Then it's 12 teams left. I got to try and do maybe 4 minutes a team, which will still be behind schedule. Even 3 minutes a team. I don't want to give short shrift, but I'll give short shrift here. The Rams are totally rebuilding. Nathan went full Tom Cook. Nathan went Tom Cook mode. I'm not the first guy to rebuild, of course, by any stretch of the imagination, but he stripped it down. Then it's all zeros on the offensive line, multiple 0-0 pass blockers. Oh,
yeah. This is probably one of the few teams that their starting offensive line is going to be worse than Tom's third-string offensive line.
That's right, but I have a good third-string offensive line there. Now he plays a 3-4 defense. It was 4-0-4, 0-0-0-4, 0-0-0-4 in the secondary. Even I could not match that secondary. My team was winless. I'm very proud and pleased. I can't say proud because it wasn't my doing. I support fully the moves that Nathan has made with this team, stripping them of all reasonable players and going for the future, assuring himself. How can this team not draft in the top 2 next year, Dennis?
Yeah, it's kind of fun when you're following this path, like you go to this defensive card, you can afford to take guys early like Trevor Williams, who's a 0, who might be a 6 next year. You can afford to take Kevin Byard, knowing he'll be a 6. Take him in the first round, not worrying about how it's going to affect you this year.
That's right.
Even guys like Kwiatkowski, who might not be great next year, but have a good future, you don't mind taking them earlier than you normally would if you were attempting to compete. So it's fun.
Yeah. When you rebuild, and it's easier to rebuild in the spring probably, and also he's loaded up with the draft picks next year, and he knows he's going to have like a top 2 pick easy next year. I mean, the over under on this team would be like half a win. This team is very similar to my team that went winless. He has a better running back, which might hurt him. You may have wanted to stick with the Cameron Artist Paynes of the world. Josh McCown's not any good, is he?
He's all right. 30s, 20s to 30s.
10 interception across the board, Dennis.
I mean, like I said, he's all right. If you get it, you
okay,
can go deep with him.
My quarterback was better. I think I had Derek Carr. Now I'm supposed to be making up time in this team, and I'm about to not make up time. Blaine Gabbert can also play. He might be more fun. He can run. That'll be the big controversy this year, Dennis. Blaine Gabbert versus Josh McCown is the starter for this team. But now let's not forget McCown had a pretty decent year for the Jets and could be Nathan's quarterback next year. And maybe as a quick 1 year rebuild and has a decent year next year.
No way. What he'll do is he'll look for those teams that are loaded, except for the quarterback position, and he'll trade McCown off. You can guarantee that McCown will not be his starter next year.
Okay, but Deshaun Watson might be his starter next year.
Exactly, that's exactly what he'll grab a rookie or something like that.
Watson, Mahomes are the two guys that Mahomes does well with the Chiefs this year, which I think he will.
But Mahomes won't be able to start, so maybe you'll have to.
No. But those will be the two guys probably at the top of next year's draft if Mahomes plays well. So I'm going to predict this team. I predict 1-15, but they are definitely a contender to match my winless SSFA team of a couple years ago.
I'll go 2-14.
Wake up. 1-15 new line. Miami. Go to sleep. All right, let's see if I can do the fish in only a few minutes. Miami Dolphins, Dennis. Who's that? That's Bob.
Yes, A2 Apollo.
That's 2 Apollo?
Exactly.
Let's see. Miami last year was 5-11. Bob, I know, overachieved with one of his. Is he Arizona in Tomifa? Maybe. I think it was him.
Speaking of
what?
He's Arizona in Somifa.
Yeah, he overachieved with one of those teams a couple of years ago. Blake Bortles, he's hoping for a resurgence. Let's see, he's got Blake Bortles and Eli Manning at quarterback. He's got Jordan Howard. He's got a great card. He's got 5s at the right side, 4s right to the line. No pass blocking. I mean, it's not all zeros, but 2 5s and then 4 and 4, 3 and 2. Another team had that. I think Jeff Bevier is not really competing this year. Offensive tackles 2s and 3s. That can make for some unexpected sacks. Although I guess you should probably expect them. So Alshon Jeffrey. Yes, in this case, the very expected. Alshon Jeffrey, Mohamed Sadu, Brandon Myers, Brent Selleck. Interesting. I mean, you got Jordan Howard. How bad is Bortles?
He's got a lot of must runs and end run stuff. He's got a fun card.
You can throw some 5 passing. Which you got Jordan Howard, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. 4-3 defense. He's got Giovanni Bernard too. So we have to dial up a Randy special and run the ball 40 times a game.
Bernard's not good this year though. Bernard's he's all right. 2 years ago,
decent, like an off tackle and run or something.
No, Bernard. 2 years ago, Bernard had the great card. This year, I don't think so much.
What about your kids, the Wiz Rogers? He's okay, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's okay. He's an acceptable number 2 type of back. Okay. Defense plays a 4-3. 5-5-4-4 with no pass rush. 4-5-4 linebacker, but 6-5, 6-6 in the secondary. Got the dreaded 6 corners. Double barrel. Oh, nice. What do I do with this team? I don't know what to do with this team. You see what Jordan Howard's been tearing up the league. Go ahead, Dennis.
He's going to be subjected to dump offs because of the lack of pass rush, but sometimes that plays okay into certain coaches' style of play who maybe are a little bit less accepting of taking risks. Yeah, more content to play like a zone defense, if you will. So that could work out for Bob, especially with the 6s and the 3-6s in the secondary. Go ahead, shoot at him. You're going to lose those defender X battles all the time. So, but I don't think that you've got the offense to to be a premier team. I would say this is a 9-7, 8-8 type team.
Well, Bob, if you're listening, and I doubt you are, because I don't think we've ever seen Bob even post on the forum. I don't want to see conservative with this free safety. You got 6.56 in short pass. You need some help in your front seven because you got 4.54. I want Devin McCourty hounding those flats. Dennis, would you agree with that?
Yeah, why not? And use him to key a little bit. Free safety blitz, because if he hits the runner on an end run or something, the 6 rating will come into play. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Safety run blitz, not safety pass blitz. This pass rush is weak.
Well, same thing. If you're doing a safety pass blitz on a end run zone and he's end run in that zone, you can slam him.
I'm just saying it doesn't have much other pass rush, so I don't think we'll be doing a lot of safety blitzing for pass rush. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you're desperate, you get somebody behind there that has a back that's like a zero pass blocker. Yeah, just you get one out of those 6 contests is going to be very good.
Or
send him.
Or if you're playing Nathan.
Yeah, exactly. When he's got like 2, 0, 3, 4 on his line.
I can't wait to see Nathan's roster in a year or two when he's got all these young players all over it. Like Scott did a few years ago in SSFA, and now his team had a real good year last year. All right, so I'm going to go a little less on this team, Dennis. I'm going to bring them down to 7-9. That's my prediction for this team. The passing game, the offensive line, and I am with those 4 threes with the front 7, Dennis, being a little weak.
Sounds
and
good.
but corner 6s go a long way. But I'll go 7-9.
Yeah, I'll lock it in at 8. I'll lock it in at 8-8.
Maybe I should go 8-8. No, I am going to go 8-8. I am going to go 8-8 also. Are you're going to keep track from now on? Miami on? Or
okay.
No? All right.
I need you to send me those. What you got there? Slack it to me later.
Yeah. When we finish, I'll send it to you. Yes, I'll be slacking off later on.
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings. Oh boy, this is a team you can spend some time on, even though I'm trying to have an abbreviated show this year. The Minnesota Vikings. This team is loaded. Tony should have traded me to move up to get Jordan Howard. Come on. We'd be picking you to go 15-1. It was an expensive trade up. But Latavius Murray? All right. Well, Dennis, let's look at this team at every position except running back, and then we'll come back to running back. How about that?
Okay.
All right, they got Andrew Luck quarterback. Pretty good card. Does turn the ball over, but it's also a dangerous, explosive card. I like the card. It could throw in all 3 levels. It does turn the ball over a little more than you like. I think I have him as like number 11 in this set or something like that. You got I thought his offensive line was much better. You do have 4.7, so that's good. You got 5.7, 5.7, 0.7, 4.7, 4.4. I thought he had more run blocking. You got Jordy Nelson, Mike Evans, and Rob Gronkowski. Hello.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets for cards. And then you got Hunter Henry as a second tight end, acceptable as a second tight end. But then the running back, Latavius Murray, Jerick McKinnon, and Tevin Coleman.
You know what's good about that? I'll tell you what's good about that.
No one's going to call run.
Exactly. People are going to see those receiver targets. They're going to see the quarterback, and they're going to see the running backs, and they're going to call pass more than normal. So keep running those guys. At least get 50-50 split, Tony.
Yeah, I thought he had better run blocking. But Murray's not bad. Off tackle and went wrong. It's not a bad card. Off tackle and went wrong. And I think Jerick McKinnon is kind of similar in that fashion. No, he isn't. He only had 3.4 yards of carry last year. Tevin Coleman, his card is not that good, right, Dennis?
Good receiver.
Yeah, well, his line book wrong. It's not too bad. Off tackle is chunky. I don't know. Excellent receiver, like you said. Oh, he's got Jalen Richard. There you go.
Yeah, he's one of those sneaky backs that you can use.
Yeah. Not that Jalen Richard is a great card, but when you know you're going to run guess wrong, it's not a bad card. He's not bad. He's okay. I thought he was a little better too. He's not bad, but so I don't know. So the problem is, I feel like the rest of the team is so good. I thought his offense was a little better, but let's look at the defense, Dennis, to see what I'm talking about. And I think you already know about it. It's a 4-3. It goes 5-6-6-5. It goes 6-6-6 at linebacker, 6-5-5-5 in the secondary.
Wow. Nice.
You know, now you have this roster. Would it have been worth it to overpay to get Jordan Howard?
Perhaps, yeah, definitely. I mean, what was the cost? What can you divulge the trade offer?
I can if I remember it. I don't think I remember it. It was a while ago and it was quickly rejected. But he was at number 7, I think. I think I wanted I think I wanted like his one. I think I wanted like number 7. I wanted a lot. I wanted like his number 7 and like his one next year.
Oh, then no. I'm glad he didn't.
Maybe this year. No, you're glad he didn't. Okay.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I would not have paid that much for a running back. Running backs, they're so volatile.
Yeah, but look at the team with a good running back card.
Well, then trade a 3rd-round pick for Eddie Lacy, like I did. If you really want to have, a run at it, pay for it for a veteran, for a 1-year guy. Don't give up a future 1st-round pick.
Okay, so we'll give a 2 or a 3 for cards better than these. You give a late 2 for Latavius Murray. They gave a late 2 for Latavius Murray. I think there are better cards to be had. Maybe it was a tough market for trading for running backs.
Yeah, but if you're going to move down 4 spots, why wouldn't somebody like you move down 4 spots if you didn't really need Jordan Howard and pick up a little bit less of a package? Did you try to counter off of his quick rejection? We have to stop sticking to these things like, I got to have a future first because I'm moving down 3 spots. That kind of stuff.
No, because Dennis, because I had young quarterbacks there to trade. I ended up trading. I ended up getting the Michael Reeves deal instead.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet deal for you too. Michael, you're shitting. After the way Tom treated you earlier in the podcast, which I didn't hear yet, you should not have done that deal with him. You should have traded that same deal to the person in the 1st or 2nd spot, so you could have gotten Carson Wentz instead. Or
we don't know if that pick was. We don't know if that pick was available, but anyway. But I was trading Jared Goff for Dak Prescott, and there was other people competing. So Michael had to give a good deal.
But he could have been bargaining with somebody above you. He didn't need to bargain with you.
Well, maybe he could have. But there were other interested parties, Dennis. I had like 4 people interested in that pick. So anyway, because there was young quarterbacks there. So there's no way if there's a young quarterback at number 3. I'm not going to take a discount to trade with Tony because he wants to take a running back. You know what I'm saying? That's not my problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
The young quarterbacks always get you a lot. So anyway, all right. So yeah, this defense is great. I mean, come on. You're running a 4-3 that's 5-6-6-5. Those 4-3s with 6-6 at defensive tackle, very tough to run inside against. And you can't even beat him on the outside easily. He's got 5s there. And he's got some pass rush there with 12-8-7 among the down linemen. And then animals on the outside with 12s with Von Miller and Brian Arakpo. And Miller, of course, has got an 8 asterisk. And then you've even got – and he could just stand there. He could just stand there in his front 7 and probably beat you. You know what I'm saying?
That's juicy, yeah. And you want to stand there a little bit at first, and then when people get used to you standing there and stop worrying about the flats, then you can bring those guys on the outside to bring down the quarterback.
Absolutely. And his secondary is so good that he could even blitz Von Miller in the end run and get him on there as a 12-8.
Well, maybe he figures this is the year of Minnesota, so he's destined to get to the Super Bowl, no matter what.
Don't.
We got Dale Ripley. You got Dale Ripley in there, and so the NFL Super Bowl.
I just told you not to
in Minnesota.
I just told you not to spoil it because the guys here might not have listened to that broadcast yet.
Oh, come on, please. It's the year of Minnesota, so sorry. You can fix it in post.
Anyone who's listening, I would like you to type in the chat here on the Hangout if you already know who won the Somifa game.
Oh, Nathan says he has him in autumn wind. He has. Oh, yeah, he's talking about
between Minnesota and Houston. Anyway, I guess they're not listening very intently. So, but I like what he can do is the secondaries are good. You can bring Von Miller up in the damn run and bring the safety up to flood that flat, or put him in the middle and look in and slide Brandon Marshall out, and then you're 6-5-6 or 5-6-6, and you got Von Miller on line of scrimmage, and you have a real good secondary. So I mean, this is a tremendous defense, best front 7 I can ever remember seeing in a 4-3.
So I have not seen. Is this our preseason favorite for the championship?
Not at all, because there's no running back.
That you just said, Latavius Murray's pretty good. I agree. Jalen Richard's pretty good.
Well, Murray and Richard are okay, they're okay, but they're more like number 2 backs. There's no number 1 back, and the run blocking isn't going to do them any favors. And Luck's going to throw interceptions. I've used Luck, Dennis. I played 32 games with Luck. Luck's going to throw picks.
I like.
Having said that,
it
is a real good team. Let's look at the specials since they are real good. You put Ryan Matthews on this team, not even business. Let's see. I got a punt return touchdown here. I like that. Reasonable kick returners. Bad opponent QR, but a lot of those get to be touchbacks anyway. Kicker isn't that great. He's not awful. So the defense is great. I really, really love the defense. And a lot of games he's going to beat guys pretty easily. I'm going to go 14-2, Dennis. What are you going to go?
You said 14-2?
14-2 for Tony.
I'll go 13-3.
All right. And no, this team could easily make the Super Bowl. But you put a good running card in this team. And you're thinking like they're definitely the team to beat, hands down. With Jordan Howard in that lineup,
even without that, it looks pretty good.
That's correct. And I'm not a guy who goes a lot for the year. I'm just saying, if you're a guy like Tony, who hasn't gone deep in the playoffs in these leagues, and I have a club like that, maybe that is the time to say I'm going to go all out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I guarantee you would have had some better running cards. I don't know who you'd had. But you looked at the rest of that team and you'd have been salivating and said, "Oh my God, all I got to do is give a late one next year, maybe, and something else, and I can get Jordan Howard or whatever." But I don't know. I would like the Michael Reed's deal better anyway. But I'm just saying. But if you had an opportunity to put a real good running back card on that team, I think you would have done it because that team's got championship potential big time. All right, moving on to the Saints, and you're recording the predictions, right?
Yep.
All right, and now we're getting bogged down. But the Saints, that's Scott's team. This was a team that was terrible a few years ago, Dennis. Built it up through the draft over time, made the big trade through the Russell Wilson trade. Got multiple pieces following a philosophy. Whether or not that trade was better if you were him, it was part of a philosophy. And when you're rebuilding and you're always trading for assets, not every trade's going to work out, but overall the whole thing works out, which is good. And last year it came to fruition when he went 12-4, and made the semifinals, where he lost a close game to Ed. So kudos to Scott for building up that way, which he will now have to do with his Buffalo team and Samifa, because Jay Cutler and Adrian Peterson aren't exactly doing much anymore. So you got Ryan Tannehill, a quarterback. What's our view of Tannehill this year? This card.
It's one of his worst cards.
Picks.
It's all right.
That's right.
Good flat card.
Ron's got it. Ron's got the semifinals. Yeah, good flat card, a good long pass wrong card with 5, 9, 10, 14 units, but the interceptions are a problem.
I would guess you probably have this ranked like 16th or something like that in your rankings.
I have a 20th.
Okay, 20th. There you go.
But that includes Nick Foles.
Okay.
Nick Foles 21. I got a 20th, but of course I just lost to it in the playoffs. You got Spencer Ware's got a great card. Ty Montgomery can do some things. You got 2 7s pass blocking, 2 5s run blocking, 3 4s. So that's could be a little better. You got AJ Green, Devontae Adams, Zach Ertz is nice. You got Mike Tolbert or Virgil Green as your as your blocking back / second tight end. So I would have liked to see that spot be a little better. Maybe some 3 wide with DeAndre Hopkins is a great card this year. Who knows? The flat pass is there. Spencer Ware runs well, guess right. So that could be in the offing. It's an interesting team.
I like the running backs. If you want to, Tannehill will perform much better than his card simply because you got Spencer Ware and Ty Montgomery there.
Yep, I agree with that. Both of whom can catch, by the way. And I like the wide receiver tight end targets, especially with having a good running game. I mean, this Devontae Adams card is actually pretty good. He might be 12-18 deep, I think. 12-18 deep, but he's maxed out short. So,
nice.
And he's your number 2 guy. You got AJ Green and Zach Ertz is, of course, good. So, yeah, I like this offense. Tannehill's not great, but all the pieces go together, and Scott's a pretty good coach, and he's had some success in both leagues in the past. So that's why you say that. And the Spencer Ware card is one of the better ones this year that does a lot of work for a lot of people. 3-4 defense goes 5-5-6. He's got LaTroy Guy on. And he's got 5-5-6, 4-4-6-4 at linebacker, 5-5-4-4 in the secondary. So The defense is not that great. The defensive line is good against the run. The 6 inside linebacker really helps when he wants to play slide out games and protect the flats. At least these linebackers will good against the run, 5.555. A little bit of pass rush there with the outside 10.
That's an important point. I mean, you just went through at first. I'm glad you said that because you evaluated the linebackers initially based on their pass defense. But it's important to have those guys, especially if they have good pass rush and you're bringing up to the line, to have those 5 rated run defenders, especially in short yardage situations or when you're blitzing them. That's just as important as their pass defense. It may not seem that way. We're so used to having that first number and the only number that displays on the graphics, on little icons on the game. But that's, there's a lot of 5s here if you consider the run defense.
Well, I don't think it's as important as the pass defense, but I think if you're playing a 3-4, you do want to make sure at least one of those inside linebackers is a 5. And having them all 5, having all these 5s definitely helps in short yardage, absolutely, and will help hold the other guy to field goals instead of touchdowns. So I think we've undervalued the run rating because of the impact in short yardage. But I do think the pass rating is still more important. Although these inside linebacker 45s, if I'm playing a 3-4, I'm happy with inside linebacker 45. I could even take both of them.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind that. And I like that, he's got the 6 there. So he can slide the left inside out. He can leave the guys there. He's got flexibility there. And some pass rush with Mack the 11, Irvin the 10, inside linebacker 8. So a little bit of pass rush there. Secondary, 5-4, corner, 5-4, safety. Having said all that, you can still hurt this team. There's not that much pass rush. You can throw short and long. He's got to worry about the 4s. He's got to worry about dump offs. So you can do some things. It'll be interesting defense. This is the type of team I want to look at the special teams because I'm not sure what to make out of the team for a prediction. Opponent punt returns a week. Punter is good. Punt returning, not much. Kick returning, touchback special. Field goal kicker is good, very good. It's Justin Tucker. Okay. 8 and 12, 33-40. That's very helpful.
That'll win you some games.
Yes. So I think I'll give it a bump because the team's got a lot going on, even though it's got weaknesses. It's got a lot going on, and Scott's a pretty solid coach. Has had success before, and I root for him because he did things the way I like to do them, building for the future. I'm gonna give him 10 and 6. What do you think, Dennis?
Am I
too optimistic?
No, I think that's not optimistic enough. I'll go 11 and 5, and I'm putting faith in you, Scott. Show me what you got.
All right, we're 2/3 through, so I should go fast with the rest of the teams. The New York Jets. Who's coaching that team this year, Dennis?
David A. Scott. Oh, no. This is SSFA. I thought there was Psalms for a second. This is Mr. Cook. So let's look at your team.
Yeah. That's why I had to leave.
We've talked so much about this team. I should actually go take a break. I've heard this about 5,000 times about how good this team is and how well set it is for the future.
I'm not sure if you got any.
I'll be back. You talk about your team.
All right. Sure, guys. I'm not sure if you received any Slack messages about this team. But that's why I had to leave Samsa, I guess. And that couldn't be the Jets. David Scott was the Jets. So I had to give up the team. The Baltimore Ravens. The Jets. Okay, my team. So this team, everyone knows the history of this team who's been around for more than a couple of years. I'm an inaugural SSFA member. Drafted the team from scratch. Had a lot of success the first 9 years. Only won one Super Bowl and a close one. Lost the second one, also a close one. So maybe 1-1 is right. Had a real good team last few years of that club. Was hoping to do a little more with them and get a second championship. It didn't happen. I had built them for the long haul, and then they were long in the tooth. And I had a team 3 years ago that was one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the league for that season. Had Peyton Manning, Marshawn Lynch, a lot of veteran defensive guys like Mario Williams, Lawrence Timmons, Aqib Talib, who wasn't old at that time, but and I decided to break up the team. I decided to do a massive rebuild, forego that season. I already had a very high pick. I knew I could get hopefully my franchise quarterback with Derek Carr. We already had a very good, excellent second NFL season. So I tore the team down completely, went all for the future after doing an asset value investigation, which I do for all my teams every year. And went 0-16 2 years ago. First winless team in some League history. I'm very happy with that. And a 4-12 last year. And I was able to trade down in the draft twice from quarterbacks because I had Derek Carr. I happened to draft Jimmy Garoppolo in the 5th round of the same draft, so that helps. So this team is very future oriented. I love this team for the long term. This is not a team. I'm not saying the team on the field is great. I'm not saying that because they're not. They're very good, but they're good, but they're not great. Okay. I just love this team long term. I have so many young players, so many positions, 3 first-round picks next year, Carr and Garoppolo. So I really just love this is my favorite long-term roster by far of any of the teams. It's probably my favorite long-term roster of any team I've ever had. Although I liked my early SSFA long-term rosters. But this is a show for the year. So I'm playing the 2 tight end, 2 wides, because Dennis would not trade me Kyle Juszczyk. I think that was his team. So I got to say, Derek Carr, quarterback, is very good. I've got him. Where do I got Derek Carr? I got him as the number 7 quarterback in the set. A lot of that on the strength of his low turnovers. Very low turnovers. I mean, 2 to 4 interception, long pass right. But it's a solid card. I'd like a few more completions. Who wouldn't? 259. He's 13. He's actually 6'13" long pass before you get to them. So he can compete on all 3 levels. Jay Ajayi and Ryan Matthews are the running backs, which I like. I wish the run block was a little bit better. 5s on the interior of the line, 4s on the outside of the line. Really no blocking back worth mentioning. Only 4s at tight end. So running up the middle, which is Ajayi's pretty good at, will be in the offing. Ryan Matthews more of off tackle and run guy. Brandon Cooks is a number 1 receiver card. Kenny Stills pretty good as a number 2 guy. Is he 12-18, I think? Yeah, 12-18. I wish I had a little better second receiver, but he's good. Jordan Reed's pretty good tight end, low yardage. Gary Barnes, pretty decent tight end. So kind of a nice, kind of solid all-around offense. Not that exciting. You'd like to see a little more run blocking. You'd like to see a little more pass blocking. You probably wish Carr was to be a little better short, long. Maybe a little bit something better out of those 2 tight ends. But the offense will be pretty good. Kind of ball control type of a team, low turnover, with some downfield capability with Kenny Stills and Brandon Cooks. So we'll see what happens there. I'm actually really looking forward to using Jimmy Garoppolo's card next year, even though he had a 2.8 interception percentage. So it's not going to be that great of a card for the picks. So I won't be as excited, I guess, after I see it, but it's just kind of fun for me to use Jimmy next year with Carr probably on the bench. 3-4 defense. I had a chance to trade for LaTroy Guyon with Dennis, but I was reluctant because I feel like I had done enough for the year for this team. This team is not really built for this year. They really built for the long term. And I kind of was comfortable with where they are. I don't think they're super, but I'm comfortable where they are. Defensive line goes 5-4-5. A lot of people don't like that 4. Nose tackle 3-4. Doesn't really bother me much if I have a very good secondary because I'll get some run. I'll bring a linebacker up and this and that. So 5-4-5 defensive line with backup 0-12-1 defensive end Daniel Hunter, who will certainly be playing a lot for this team depending on the opponent. Linebackers go 4-4-0-4. That is a real weakness. They can be hit with the flat passes, and especially when you have a nose tackle 4. You got to bring an inside linebacker up. At least they're both 5s against the run, so you can't flood the flats as easily. Do a very good pass rush with Lorenzo Alexander as a 45-12-8. That's extremely high, of course. The 12-8, which Von Miller also has, and I got the 12-11 on the defensive line. And off the bench, I've got multiple 12s. Only one can play at a time. But in pass rushing situations, I can play a 12-11 defensive end and a 12 and a 12 at outside linebacker with asterisks at 6, 8, and 1. So you'll probably be seeing a fair amount of free safety blitzing and that happening. I also got quarter 6s and safety 5s with an extra 4. So I'll feel more confident bringing the free safety up to flood the flats. So some flexibility on this defense, but some weakness as well. I was happy to trade for Johnny Hecker to get a very good punter. And I got Jordan Todman in the draft for a good kick return card. So that elevated the special teams, which were only a little ordinary before. So I kind of like this team. I think they're going to go. I think I'll pick 11-5. I wouldn't be surprised at 10-6 if I manage. See, I'm not good at coaching all these pass rushers the way that Dan and Nathan are or Dennis is. I'm not good at it. All right. Particularly when I've got weak linebackers against the pass. I'd probably blitz them a lot more readily if they were 5s and 6s. And I have a nose tackle 4 as well. So we'll see how well I handle this situation. But
Okay,
I think 11 and 5 is
back.
good. I can maybe
I'm
do
back.
better. All right. I picked 11 and 5 for my team, Dennis. You have a prediction?
I'll go 12 and 4, and I think you're making a tremendous mistake. So I'll just leave it at that.
I think I'm making a tremendous mistake.
Yes.
By doing what?
Danielle Hunter should be in there every down. Marcus Golden should be the starter over DeAndre Levy. That's just my opinion. If you get into a funk, and I know you say you're not good at coaching them, and that you're opening yourself up to those defensive ends 0 or 5. You have the spreadsheet, so you know better than I do. But I have a very similar team on defense to what you have here, and I play Hunter and Golden all the time, and I love the results.
Well, I will tell you this, Dennis. I will tell you that this is really my 1st and 10 defense. And while you wait for the computer, I said that Hunter will be in there quite a bit, depending on the opponent. And this is just my default defense. I promise you that Marcus Golden is going to be on the field a lot.
Okay, good deal. As long as you're
both Golden and Hunter are going to be on the field quite a bit.
Good.
I promise you that. But a 1st and 10, and depending on the opponent, if you have a halfback who can't catch, Marcus Golden's probably going to play an awful lot. I'll tell you that much. Okay.
Good.
That's
too good of a card to leave behind DeAndre Levy.
Nick Perry's really pissed.
Yeah, what can Nick Perry do on the field? It's too bad you can't play one of them an inside linebacker.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, okay. All right. So I'm going 11 and 5. You're going 12 and 4. And I like the team long term, as you know, Dennis. For the year, I think they're pretty good. I'll see what they can do. But long term is where I really love them. New York Giants, this has got to be Joe Golden, right, Dennis? It's always Joe Golden.
Sounds good.
Do me a favor. Can you discuss the team for a minute while I make my assistant do something real quick?
Sure, absolutely. We got let me put my screen up so I can – I was just going off your screen, so let me restore. See, this is where I should have been more prepared because I was just happy with going along with Tom's stuff. But Jersey Joe, don't you know? I saw Alex Smith there as his quarterback. This is not the best Alex Smith card that we've seen, and it'll be so much better next year. Joe's kind of one of those coaches that he will, he'll go in spurts. So did the wrong thing there. I'm trying. You took your screen off the team, so I couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, no, I heard you there trying to stall for time.
Okay, here I am.
But all right, I've got to move a little.
You told me you're going to go move along. So New York Giants.
I've got to move more quickly to the rest of these teams.
Okay.
New York Giants got Alex for the quarterback.
So this is obviously not a team that Joe's looking to compete with because he's happy starting a 0-0 guard and a 0-2 at the other guard. Doug Martin is not an epic halfback. Kenyon Drake's got a nice card, but only available for a half. Des Bryant, Austin Hooper, and Demaryius Thomas. The defense is got. Is he playing? He's playing a 4-3, and he's got a lot of zeros there.
Yeah, the double barrel. I had the triangle of death, Dennis. When I went 0-14, I had a 3-4 defense with a 0-0 at nose tackle and at both inside linebackers. And Joe with the double barrel. The double barrel will be a good negative phrase. I couldn't think of one before, Dennis.
No, wasn't it the triangle of marshmallows or something like that? Where you up the middle you had a nose tackle 0 with 2 inside linebacker zeros.
That is what I had, but I called it the triangle of death like that for my team. But hold on, Dennis.
It could be triangle too still because you got the 2 zeros on the D line and a 0 run rating at middle linebacker. Yeah,
but hold on one second, Teresa. But I'm looking for a negative phrase for these. Like the double barrel corners, the double barrel sixes. So if you got 2 zeros.
Oh, the opposite of the double barrel sixes.
Yeah, that'd be tough. You say double barrel zeros, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just double zeros is good. You muted me, homie.
No, I muted myself.
Oh, okay. I thought you muted me.
It's what would be the opposite of the double barrel sixes. I guess it's double barrel zeros. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
0
Tweedledum
0
and
double zeros.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee. I don't know.
How about secret agent? That's the secret agent
Yeah,
defense because you got
the Austin Powers defense.
there you go.
Because double O James Bond is good. Austin Powers is the other way around.
There
Yeah,
you go.
baby.
Yeah.
The Austin Powers, he goes 4-0-0-4 in the defensive line, 4-5-0 at linebacker, 4-5-5-5 in the secondary.
Enough on this team. I'd say this is a 4-12 team.
You know, Joe's a good coach, of course, a very good coach. Alex Fitzgerald is not that bad. The receivers, he's always got the bad guard. The second, Joe will trick some people. I'll go 5-11.
Yep.
All that build up for one extra win.
We'll see the extra minute on when Joe has a team that he's looking to compete with. That one obviously is not one that he's looking to compete with.
The Oakland Raiders. Now this is this Ron Dickinson?
Oakland is
yes, Ron Dickinson.
Yes.
Now my nemesis now, Dennis. That's defeated me in
that.
overtime in the Semifa Divisional Playoffs. That was a great game. He's got Big Ben in this team. What are we looking at? A blocking back or a double tight end? What do you think? Crockett, Gilmore. He needs Tubbs. He's got Crockett already.
No, he goes
Crockett, Gilmore, or Clive Walford. What do you think, Dennis?
I think it's going to go Deion Sims. I think he'll switch that up.
Regardless, like
he'll want the run blocking.
Big Ben. He's got Big Ben at quarterback. I like Big Ben's card. I've got him, I think, at number 10. He throws a lot of picks, but everything else is real good. On a mathematical formula only, Dennis, I have him at
Big Ben at like 9th or 10th.
Number nine. Kind of similar to Andrew Luck in that way. Luck's better with the short pass, and Big Ben's better with the flat pass. But Cards did it pretty good, but throw more picks than you'd like. And that, I'd like to see that Big Ben card aggressive downfield, and Ron was certainly willing to do that in Semifa with Tannehill to Kenny Britt and Mike Evans. You get marketing running back. You know a lot about him. Zach Zenner, you also know a lot about. It's a nice 1-2 combo. Only 2 5s on the offensive line. I think we should have a little more run blocking for those types of backs. You got 3 4s. You got 2 7s pass blocking, 2 5s, 4. Kind of a hodgepodge there. Travis Benjamin, Dontrell Inman, Jason Witten. So the quarterback running back looks pretty good, but the rest of the offense is not terrible, but it's a little lackluster. What do you think?
Only one really plus receiver in Benjamin, and he's not like maxed out on all 3 areas. So that's going to hurt him a little bit. But you get that long gain on 8 or 9 on Ben's card. So I would like to be a little bit more juiced up. But Ron can do a lot with a little because he's very patient on offense, and his big strength is his defense, and giving his team short field. So I think it looks pretty good. That Ingram and Zenner card, it's a great combo.
Yeah, I just wish you had a little bit of run blocking to really make that. If you had like 4 5s on the line and 1 4 with those 2 guys in Big Ben, I'd be like, okay, guys have a hard time stopping the run, and Ben's so great in the flat pass, and then occasionally bang over the top. But it's looking at Ron's, of course, an excellent coach. 4-3 defense goes 6-6-4-5 on the line, 4-5-4 at linebacker, 6-4 at corner, 5-5 at safety. I like the secondary. Dennis, I love my corner 6s. I don't mind them much if the opposite guy's a 4. That's what I had in Semifa. Of course, I gave up 5+ yards to Ron in the playoffs. That's what I had in Semifa, and you can double team that 4 a lot.
So if you had your choice between a 6-4 and a 5-5, you choose the 6-4.
No, I would take the 5-5.
Me too.
But
it's usable. You're saying it's usable.
Yeah, and kind of fun in a way. A little more cat and mousey. I like it better with a 3-4 because flooding. It's hard to flood the flats when you have a corner 4 sitting out there. But so the secondary is not bad at all. It's 2 6s on the line, but the 4-5 the other way. I hate the 4-3s that can be hit with the West Coast. So Ron's an excellent defensive coach. So I give him props for that. Not as much as Patrick as you like. So not a bad team. The team has the capability to underachieve, but you got to give Ron props. I think his modern coaching game is catching up to his old school coaching game because he was always a king of like the 60s and 70s games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll give them 10-6. What do you think? Possibly 9-7. Possibly 11-5. I'll give them 10-6.
Yeah, I'll say 10-6 too. Now I'm going to probably go back and revise some of these because I didn't do my early ones and I don't know what the teams look like exactly. But I'll say 10-6
yeah,
right now.
That's right. Well, we'll both have to revise because I didn't do mine on a spreadsheet. I'm going to send him on anyway, and it's unlikely that we're going to end up 192 and 192
exactly.
or whatever the number is. Pittsburgh, is this the mighty Thor hour?
It is Dan T. You're right.
Dan T. Thor, only 5 teams to go. Let's see. Now, this is the team that is future-oriented, Dennis, because they drafted Carson Wentz, number 2 overall. Nice spot to get him. So Wentz has got a bad card. DeMarco Murray's pretty decent, or just eh?
We'll have a couple assets there with Wentz and then Case Keenum. He can trade Keenum to get back what he had to give up to get Wentz. Unless did he pick Wentz because he finished with the worst record? I can't remember.
He was number 2. Dom went first and took Elliott. So I think that Dan's going to spend a lot of time this year trying to roll the 11 long game off tackle.
Why not?
With DeMarco Murray, it's like, all right, my team's not good. Let me see if I can hit this long game a few times. That's the kind of thing you do when your team's not good. Let me shoot for that thing. So you got Wentz, you got Geno Smith, Dennis. Will he be in the mix competing for the starting job next year?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
All right. So Carson Wentz does not have to look over his shoulder.
Unless he's looking to get in a locker room fight, maybe then.
That's true. So you got Wentz got a bad card, not much in the running game. Offensive line looks good. Receivers okay. Should have traded Greg Olsen.
I would have traded. No, if it was your team, and this is Dan, if you're listening, you have a little bit of a rebuild here. Would you have kept somebody like Greg Olsen, or is this the year to move him when you don't really need him, and maybe his value is pretty high considering his age?
Well, that's what I just said. I said should have traded Greg Olsen. Absolutely.
Okay, I missed that.
Well, I was the guy 2 years ago telling you that the guy should have traded Cam Chancellor because he was so far away from competing. I said by the time the team gets good, Chancellor will be 29, 30 years old. Yep. Is it true that you're out the desk? Is it true that Cam Chancellor might not be able to play again?
It's very possible. Yeah, it just goes to show you that these guys, every time they step on the field, you're a play away from that being your last play. But him and Cliff Averill are both facing possible career-ending injuries from last year.
Yeah, he doesn't know sure if Cam will ever play again, right?
Right, correct. Both Nick injuries too, so
yeah,
you don't want to mess around with that.
Was already like 31 at least, so maybe the end of his career anyway. But still, yeah. But hopefully they're okay overall. 3-4 defense,
and that kind of injury for a guy who hits so hard, that's the problem. If he was a cornerback, maybe he'd have an easier time getting back. But when your game is when you're bam bam Cam, when you're trying to hit people every play and knock the ball out, it's not it's not easy.
Different cup of tea. 3-4 defense goes 5-4-6, 5-5-5-4, 4-5-6-6. So the defense can play pretty well, Dennis. They can kind of hold. They can kind of do what they have to, but they're going to be asked to do a lot more than that because the offense is bad. The offense. You got a bad quarterback. You got a bad quarterback and bad running back. In this type of league setup, even Tony's defense would struggle. To win games. So, and on top of that, you have the nose tackle 4 you got to compensate for, and there is a corner 4 out there you got to compensate for, and you can get hit with the dump offs, and your offense isn't going to do much. So, I think the team will struggle,
and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going for the future, but I think I thought he made some trades, like Brian Cushing and stuff, LRB, to improve the team for the year. Maybe not realizing exactly what he's going to be up against when his offense is, one of the worst in the league, So I think I want to be optimistic. I want to say 5-11 or something. I'm going to say 4-12. What do you think, Dennis?
Tom, can you hear me? Hello?
love having Dennis on the show. Talk station. And he's gone. Nowhere to be seen.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
I
mean, I really can't hear you.
Dennis, can you hear me? Can everyone else hear me?
You were really cutting out. You were cutting out really bad there.
I hear Dennis clear and I hear Tom broken up.
Yeah, Tom, you sound like you're like running in slow motion.
Like he's in a tunnel or something.
Yeah. I think Tom just fell off. So I'll pick it up here. Tom is no longer present. I think, what did Tom say, 4 and 12? Help me out here.
He said,
I think that I need to take a nap. No, I think he said 5 and 11 or 4 and 12. No, I think he said 4 and 12. I'm going to say 3 and 13.
Yeah, he was calling for his melatonin, so he might be out.
Sounds good. Okay, so where are we at? That was.
How about now?
Oh yeah, definitely can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. What happened was my internet took a hiccup.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought this was happening, but it was really entertaining, sounding like one of those characters that have taken ether on Bugs Bunny.
That's right. All right. So what I was saying was that I don't know you leave off, but the defense is solid, but they're going to be asked to carry more than I think they can handle. And I think when we see teams that are not oriented for the current year, when we see future-oriented teams, when we see a bunch of like 4s and 0s on defense, it's easy for people to say, "Oh yeah, this team is going to get shredded." But I think we neglect sometimes that if the offense just really can't move the ball, that it's just as bad, and the team still is going to lose a lot of games. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I said 3 and 13. I think you said 4 and 12. So I think we're ready to go on to San Diego.
That's correct. And we're on to Cincinnati.
San Diego.
I know. I was doing my Belichick, Dennis.
I gotcha.
San Diego Superchargers. This is half man, half Mankiewicz, right? Only in Samifa is he.
Correct.
The Texans.
Yeah.
And what did he do last year? He went 9-7 and lost in the playoffs to the Rams. This team before the rebuild. Okay.
Cool.
He's got Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. That was as good a card as the previous year. I've got Taylor down at number 18. He has very low turnover, and Paul knows how to use his personnel as well as anybody. And he's got Rob. This is interesting. He's got like Rob Kelly, DeAndre Washington. He's got Todd Gurley waiting in the wings for next year. He's got a better offensive line than some of his teams have had lately. 3 7s on it, a 6 and a 4. Well, that's run blocking. I'm mixing the two. 3 7s and 2 5s for pass blocking. So probably a lot of short passing, trying to hit the must runs with Taylor, who is low turnover. Pretty decent run blocking, 2 5s and 6 2 4s. Brandon Marshall, Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders is good. Kobe Fleener and Ryan Griffin. So not an exciting offense.
Real quick on Marshall versus Parker. Who would you start there if that was your team? Parker's deep card makes me want to put him in the starting lineup over Brandon Marshall and his weak deep card. See how.
Well, let's see. I think I've got my wide receiver file was all messed up because I sorted
Ed
it
has
for,
him listed as his top receiver, but you can still start Parker. You just can't. You can only.
Yeah, if you go 3 wide,
right?
He's got to be the number 3. Well, in my ratings, I've got Brandon Marshall out of him.
Okay, fair enough.
And my ratings actually skew towards the
short pass card. He's max short. I mean, Marshall has a nice max short card. Not a lot of yardage, but
my ratings actually skew towards more yardage. And I think the difference is probably that Marshall is 9-15 deep and Parker is 12-18 deep probably. So that's probably not enough
to boost it up. Got it.
Probably not enough to offset. See, Parker's not even 1926 short. He's
right.
He's the third level, 1622. So you're going, if you're going from max out to 1622, so that deep part doesn't offset it. I guess. So this offense, I think, is not that great. And Paul's an excellent coach, of course. The offense is not that great. Let's see what we got in defense. 3-4 defense. Goes 5-5-6 on the defensive line. 4-4-6-4 at linebacker. Goes 4-4-5-4 in the secondary. Got a little bit of pass rush for the 11, the 5, the 7. He likes to blitz. Got a 7 defensive end. Got a 7 DeForest Buckner off the bench.
No, this is what I like about Paul. He'll make those picks like DeForest Buckner for the future, but he never like throws in the white towel. He always is trying to put a competitive team together to make the playoffs. And yeah, it might produce a lot of those 9-7, 10-6 type seasons where he doesn't have a dominant team. But you know, when you're playing him, he'll always give you a good game.
Oh yeah, Paul's one of the best coaches out there. And well, we saw it in Sami for this year. That team was not great. They went 10-6. They made the semifinals and had a matchup that they could have possibly won.
Right.
They had a game that was very close going to the fourth quarter. So he almost, he could have made the Super Bowl with one of those teams. Now, you know me, Dennis. I'm always going the other way, but I'm not saying I'm right for doing that. But you're right about that. That is to be admired, and he does it well. You have to be a real good coach to pull that off, because Paul knows that 9 times out of 10 he's going to make the playoffs unless the team is a complete disaster. 5-5-6. The defense is okay. Offense is okay. This is one of those Paul type of teams, Dennis, like you said. Not real great, more middle of the road. But Paul's a real good coach. But he has had some 9-7 seasons lately. For some reason, I feel like he's going to do more with this team. The secondary is a little weak. I'll stick with 9-7. I'll give him 9-7. What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to give him 10-6, but I think 9-7 is right based on the halfback, the lack of impact halfback.
And he has had a season or two in recent years where he's missed the playoffs. He went 7-9 with one of these leagues or something like that. So this team could be like that. The rest of the coaching is getting better. The rest of the general managing is getting better, which, and I think that's why I've seen Paul do that, and maybe why I've seen NFL Ed, just missed the Sami playoffs, unheard of, with a pretty decent team, actually. Not even like a bad team, which is good. Sure. Good competitive environment. And as you mentioned, Dale making the Super Bowl in Samifa. So,
nice. The cat's out of the
San
bag.
Francisco. Yep, San Francisco is I think real good this year, Dennis.
Now there's a guy with a lot of yardage on his card, and Sammy Coates in his starting lineup.
That's right. Now, hold on just one moment, Dennis.
You need me to fill? I'll go ahead and fill while Tom's talking. We got
I'm back. I was just always wanted to tell her something.
Gotcha.
She brought in my food, but I told her to come back in 10 minutes, so she wasn't sitting here doing nothing. I'll come back when the show's over. 3 teams to go. So, San Francisco 49ers. Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Carlos Hyde and Bilal Powell running back. So get NFL Ed, who you know is a great defensive coach.
Carlos Hyde, Billy Powell. That's a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, Hyde, and Powell. You know it's going to be a good team. He's got 3 7s pass blocking. He's got a 6 and a 5. The rest of 4 is run blocking. Stephon Diggs is okay. Sammy Coates is dangerous down the field. Shepard can be, or Crowder, more underneath if he wishes. Delaney Walker's real good. Dwayne Allen's not a bad blocking back. In Ed's hands, his offense will be very good. They're also very low turnover, right? What was Cousins?
Cousins has a top card. He's got like a top 3 or 4 card, I think.
Yeah, I think I've got him a little lower than that, but he's very good. Like Derek Carr-ish, probably. No, I've got Cousins number 5.
Yeah,
I haven't had a Derek Carr. So, hopefully the next quarterback of the Jets, Dennis. 5 years, $152 million. 3-4 defense for the commissioner. Yeah. Let's do it.
I'll sign off on that. I'll be Kirk Cousins' agent. That way I get a little percentage.
I'll be whatever he wants for $150 million. 4-5-5 defensive line for the Niners. 6-4-0-5 linebacking crew. 5-4-5-6 secondary. So more of an offensive team this year for the commissioner, which we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, we saw Ed make quite a few trades this year as he tried to fill some of the holes he had and make use of his draft picks ahead of time. You rarely see Ed trading 3rd and 4th round picks. In the same deal, he had to give both of those up for Brandon Williams. He brought in some other guys too, more guys to help right away instead of building his young players like he usually does. So good on Ed.
But still,
playoffs.
And probably part of the reason he can do that. Look at some of the long-term names here. I did draft Chris Jones in the first round. You got Landon Collins, Stephon Gilmore, Darius Slay, Melvin Ingram, Chris Jones, now Brandon Williams, even Sean Lee. So a lot of guys who are very good NFL players. So yeah, I can maybe afford to give up more for the year when I still have 7 or 8 guys that are going to be there for a while. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely,
an offense as well. And an offense as well with Kirk Cousins, and Carlos Hyde, and Stephon Diggs. He's got some guys, James Carpenter still certainly around for a while, who will be there. And what's scary, I think, is it's a good quarterback running back combo and good offense for Ed, and he's a defensive coach. So even if the defensive ratings aren't as good as usual, you know he's going to do a good job with them. And then he's got the nose tackle 5, so he doesn't care as much about these weak inside linebackers. He might leave them back more often than others will. Corner 5, so unless he's facing a great tight end, Landon Collins can spend some time up in the flats as these linebackers come up, or on the line of scrimmage himself. Sean Lee's a 6 against the pass. You're not going to want to test him too much, so he can plug that and run 4. So he's got ways to cover his weaknesses, and I'm sure it'll be a real good team. And because of that, let's take a look at what's going on with the special teams. Point of kick return to bad, but those are usually touchbacks. Crowd is excellent punt returner. Not much of kick returns, but those are usually touchbacks. Bosher's okay. Boswell is good, except he can't make the deep one. So it's going to be a real good year for the commissioner, I think, Dennis.
I would agree.
I give him 13-3.
I'll go 12-4.
And not having looked at your team yet, I see this team as one of the Super Bowl contenders, certainly. The Seattle Seahawks. Who's the quarterback here? Is it Carson Palmer? Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah,
Colin
that's
Kaepernick?
gotta be it. Travaris Jackson.
Tom Brady?
I would take Tom. I wouldn't throw him out of bed.
Yeah, I had him locked up in some for 3 years ago, and she just said, yeah. She changed his mind right when trading opens. That's how DeAndre Hopkins ended up off my team.
Yeah, this is not a great Russell Wilson card, though. I'm sure you have him ranked at like number 12 or something like that. It's a good card, but it's not a great card.
I've got him at number 11. What's interesting is he's at number 11 for me. Luck's at number 10, and they're very close in my rankings. I mean, and Luck's, but it's a different type of cards.
Right.
Wilson's low turnover, and Luck's more yardage. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. So, and I'm kind of liking. I don't go square with these 100% my quarterback rankings, but I'm kind of liking where I am right now with my quarterback and wide receiver rankings. Wide receiver especially. Those were very helpful to me in Battle Royale Summer Sprint last year. Let's see, and even in Samifa, making me feel like I didn't have to trade for somebody I thought I had to trade for.
Juszczyk. What you want to cut?
No. So Samifa, I was talking to Ron about Kenny Britt.
Oh, okay.
Back in the last summer, before he had a bad year for Cleveland. It's a good guy to get in the spring. Who you got in the spring?
Right.
Bad year next year, and he's a decent NFL player. Let's see if he bounces back at some point. So here we got 2 tight ends. You playing 2 tight ends, Dennis?
No. This is a blocking back set. This is my Kyle Juszczyk.
Oh, this is Juszczyk. Okay, yes. That's right. I was complaining I had to play 2 tight ends because we wouldn't trade me him. You got Russell Wilson, you got Eddie Lacy and Chris Thompson. Interesting. That's nice.
And Frank Gore is
and Frank Gore is like your. You can run him as much as you want forever with no fumbles. It's a nice line. We'll go tackle wrong for Eddie. The right's not that great. Who cares what the end run? Because you're good there. And Thompson we know is real good. Then you got nice offensive line. 2-6-7 to the left side, 5s on the right side, center 4, 4-7s at a right guard 4. Dump offs in place. One of those good receiving backs in there as well. Juszczyk is 1. Thompson will be another when he's in the game.
It's not.
Gore's probably okay in the flat.
I don't have great receivers, but Britt is pretty good. Britt's really good, and then Nunun was like one of those guys that's a 4-4-5 guy or something like that. Good deep.
But not only the 6s on the left side, but the blocking back 6. So that off tackle and run game to the left side. Your linebacker game even, and you can run right side too from the tight ends of 4. So Juszczyk is really valuable. Kenny Britt, and like you said, Jimmy Graham. Okay. So I like the offense. Looks solid. And, of course, in your capable hands, 3-4 defense. I want to know what you predict for Michael Reeves when you look at that.
Okay.
3-4 defense goes 5-5-6. You picked up Gerald McCoy. Goes 5-5-6. 4-5-4-4. 5-5-5-6. Okay, very nice. You got the backup Noah Spence there as a 7 for passing downs because you like to rush the passer. 7-9-6 with a 12-4 asterisk. So you got some pass rush there when the matchup is right for you. You don't have to help the defensive line too much because they don't like to do that. They'll do it, but you rather focus on the pass defense. You can flood the flats if you feel like you would need to because you have a good secondary. So the defense will play well, and of course you're very successful at times. I'm not gonna worry too much about a few bad fours at linebacker. And the special teams, Will Ford's got the touchdown on 4. The agony, the joy of agony, the misery of defeat. 4 touchdown on 4, fumble minus 5 and 3. And Dennis White, why could be one number higher? And you got Carlos Santos is acceptable. Okay. So the team looks solid.
Yeah, it's not a super team, but it'll play well.
No, but that offensive line is going to help your running game a lot. You're going to do well at the dump offs. You're going to pick your spots for Kenny Britt. You got Will Fuller hanging around it, but he sees the line of. Is he 12-18?
Who, Fuller?
Yeah,
12-18 on deep.
Is that better than Nunwa?
Noon was the same.
Okay, good. Yeah, Nunwa's not bad.
I think it had just like a little bit more yardage or something like that on the short pass.
Nunwa had a bad injury this year, unfortunately. He's a good-looking player. He needs to work on his hands a little bit, but he's a pretty good-looking player. So let's see. This team, anybody else then I'd probably pick a little less, but since it's you, I'm going to pick 12-4 for the team because you always seem to go at least 10-6, 11-5, and usually 12-4, 13-3. So I'll pick 12-4. I think the teams that you've had that have gone 10-6 are usually a little worse than this team.
Yeah, I'll go 11-5. I think you're probably right around there, but I expect to try to go. My goal is to go 3-1 every quarter, so that would give me right to 12-4. And if I miss up once, I'll be at my 11-5 prediction.
Okay, would you like to go 3-1 in the playoffs?
Sure. If you can guarantee me to go to the Super Bowl, I'd take that.
Okay. I'm not gonna sign on for if I have a decent team, I'm not gonna automatically sign on to not win it. I have a chance, so I have a chance of losing the first round. I might as well chance. I'm saying if I have a team that has a chance.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna sign on for the automatic non-championship. So
right.
If I have a team that's not that good, I'm like, yeah, I'll make it. Sure. Washington. Is this Keith Mowbray?
Yes.
Now I don't know what happened this year, Dennis. For some reason, I don't have Keith's first round pick next year. I've had it for a couple of years in a row there, but I think he kept it this year. Did he keep it or he traded elsewhere?
I'll check that.
Okay. He has our boy Jeff Swaim, Dennis.
He has all of his picks next year, plus somebody else's ninth.
Good man, yeah. Because this team is not. I don't think it's gonna be super strong this year. He's got Phillip Rivers, who we saw do not badly for Jeff Wendlandt and Somifa, but I have him as a 25th ranked card in the set because the interceptions are numerous, and I guess other things aren't as good as you'd like, but particularly interceptions. But it's a card. It's pretty good flat. But Dennis, how many modern quarterbacks that are starting give you an extra clean interception on a short pass?
None.
You just don't see. You really don't see that.
Just Rivers.
And then a long pass that's on 4. It's the clean one with 2-7 otherwise. So that's going to be a problem, I would say, Dennis.
Yeah, that was the year that Phillip Rivers had to do everything himself, and Melvin Gordon had his sophomore slump type of season.
And he's had this was his rookie season, I think, Gordon, no?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, Rivers has had some years like that in the last 5 years. Like, a little up and down depending on what's around him. And I think he's going to have a better year next year. And we were right about that. We were thinking about taking him in SME for 28. Then someone snatched him up. He went late, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th round, something like that.
Yeah.
We're going to try and grab him as an asset. So someone did well for themselves there. The running game, LeGarrette Blount, he's not that good, is he?
No. But he has a pretty decent guessed right card. Guessed wrong, not that explosive.
Yeah, so there's really not much in the running game. Good pass blocking. This offense is going to struggle. Like, it's Julio Jones and Terrell Pryor, but, you have no running game and a quarterback that throws a lot of interceptions. And on those dump offs, the interceptions, you're giving the guy like an extra chance at an interception. The interception sticks or something like that.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Rule.
You don't want that flat pass.
Yeah, so I think the offense. Look, if he has a game where he doesn't throw any picks, he can do some things. But even then, there's no running game. So offense will struggle, I think, Dennis, overall, even though it may have its moments. Defense goes 4-5-4 on the defensive line, 5-4, 6-4 at linebacker, 6-4 corner, 4-5 secondary. He's got to protect the end run. Linebackers are good. He's got 1 weak corner and a weak strong safety. I think Rivers is the culprit. The offense isn't that good. He's a pretty competitive coach. I'm going to go 6-10, which he might not like. Maybe he can get to 7-9. But I just think no running game and Rivers throwing a lot of picks. And I got Rivers as the 25th quarterback. You tell me you got no running game and a quarterback who should not even be starting in the 2014 league. And the defense isn't bad, but not enough to overcome it. It's hard for in these SOMIFA rules, in these SOMIFA family leagues, the 2014 leagues anyway. I think it's hard to have a defense like lead your team to victory, like in the NFL, like the Eagles
or in the double counting
leagues in the Falcons in playoffs.
Yeah, or in the double counting leagues.
That's right. That's right.
You can do that in
double counting league. Yeah, absolutely. Your defense can lead the way. So, but in these leagues, I think you have to have at least a decent offense. At least like Paul's got that Tyrod Taylor and some backs. So I'll go 6-10. What do you got?
I'll go 5-11, and I think you're right on the nose. Although I do like when you have a team like this that doesn't have much on offense, I'll send Vic Beasley like 80% of the time. Send Bobby Wagner as a support linebacker. Just have fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. You got to create some big plays, I guess, somehow. Yeah, maybe a sack, fumble, or something. So let's look real quick at who we think are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. By the way, my Dale Ripley prediction from SOMIFA was 5-11, Dennis.
See, you're right on the board.
Yeah, and he's the Super Bowl, and he told me tonight, we were talking after the game. I congratulated him, and he told me that he was only hoping to go 8-8 this year.
Amazing.
8-8, and he went 10-6, and that was the Super Bowl.
You just need a little luck of the Irish. Get the right matchups. Get on a run. Get some things to go your way. Boom. It can happen. And
it's a very good coaching. He's coached well with that team as well. He got some breaks, also coached well. He coached very well against Paul tonight, I thought. I don't know if you saw the game, but I know he got some breaks in that fourth quarter against you. But I thought tonight he coached real well, and I thought his opening game against Joe, he coached fine. There were no full house draws tonight, Dennis, which is always a plus.
Good.
So looking at Super Bowl contenders, I had Cincinnati. I predicted them for 13-3. They got Matt Ryan, David Johnson, a real good defense. Houston's got Tom Brady, but some other flaws in the team. Jacksonville, I predicted 12-4 because it's Jay. It's not a bad team, but Carson Palmer's the quarterback. I might have overinflated that team. Chiefs are Chiefs are the running back. And then down here, these teams, I like my team, but not one of the favorites, I would say. We liked San Francisco a lot. We like your team a lot. I'm going to go – I might go for a rematch, Dennis.
I don't know. My team – the problem with my team is if you guess me right when I'm running, you're going to shut me down.
Yeah, I seem to pick your team in every league every year, but you make it so often. Why not? But I'm going to go San Francisco over Seattle with Cincinnati or maybe my Jets having a chance to get in there. And the teams, Jacksonville, Houston. There's some sleeper teams that could step up.
So what's your prediction?
San Francisco over Seattle.
Okay, I'm going to pick two entirely different teams. I'll go with your first half their favorite. I'll go with Cincinnati over Cincinnati over Jacksonville.
That's a good one. Jay having to face his SOMIFA city. He's Cincinnati.
He'll be confused. He'll be like, "Wait a minute, am I Jacksonville Jay or am I Cincy Jay?" So
I thought I was in my own territory. Cincinnati.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I punted from the 23-yard line.
I controlled it. There you go.
So but it should be an interesting year. I only see, going back at what we predicted, and I'll have to see when you post it, San Francisco. I think San Francisco and Cincinnati are the two best teams. And then I think like there's like a few teams in like that 3 through 7 category, but then but I think a big drop off after that. I think so. It's a weird year, perhaps.
Yeah,
so I think it's a good year to be a 3 through 6 type of team. Maybe my Jets can get in there, Dennis. We'll see.
Yeah, and you didn't really go into the analyzing the schedule. That will play a big part on if you're playing a bunch of those big teams, or if you're you get a little bit of an easier schedule and you get a bye week and all that stuff.
It could serve Michael Reeves well, Dennis. It is quest to make the playoffs. That we're only seeing maybe 7 teams that we think are real good. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, I can't wait to go back and listen to that, and then I'll go finish my predictions and plug it all in and post it on the board.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah, and I'll send you my first half group, and you got to do those also. All right, Dennis. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, sounds good. Slack me.
Thanks for the short one. I'll slack you. Bye-bye.